We are live for a brand new episode of Rambling Red Shirts. How was that? There we go.
That was
We are here
perfect.
to
We're
talk
here.
about
We
lots
are.
of perfect. We are here. We are here to talk about lots of exciting stuff. Because you know what? This, mainly the beginning of this week, just these last 2 days mainly, has been filled with a lot of gaming stuff, and we're all gamers here, so that's gonna be straight up. Other than one of our picks of the week, it's all gaming talk today. That's just what everything is going on right now. Just one of those times where it's a booming time and for announcements for early in the year right now. Probably the busiest time until it's summer. So, um, it lots of stuff to talk about and a lot of stuff that I think for us to look forward to and some stuff. Yeah, well, just lots of things just happened, right? We had stuff from Xbox come up. We have there's a little Nintendo partner direct that just happened today, as well as IGN has their FanFest thing that they're about to do, but they just started with all these different gaming trailers. Part one was yesterday, part two was today, and so lots of stuff to get into as far as lots of gaming stuff goes. But before we get into that, how is everybody doing tonight?
I am doing okay. It's been a pretty good week. Lots of good news, like you said. It's very exciting. Lots of very exciting news. Lots of speculative news. And lots of, like I said, because there's lots of speculative news, there's lots of debate and back and forth stuff, like in a good way, is that people are, and granted, there's also the bad people online, but there's a lot of good debates going on online about the directions certain companies are going. So, yeah. Very, very excited for that.
Yeah, lots of stuff to get into, so we'll be getting to that just shortly.
James
We also do have something else special to share. We should go ahead and touch on that just a little bit, because I think we should touch on it multiple times in the show.
Absolutely.
I know we didn't talk about that earlier, which I meant to bring up.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, how are you doing, Gio?
I'm alive. I cannot complain. Another
You're alive and breathing. So
Yeah.
hey, there's that.
Another
That
day
gets
of
you
life.
something.
Gotta
That at
thank
least gets you the
God.
participation credit,
Yeah.
He showed up to
Survivor's
class.
medal.
Yeah. You showed up to class. There you go.
Well, I think I'll take the survivor's medal analogy. I think that's a little better than he showed up.
Participation.
He didn't drown in a ditch somewhere this morning.
Participation trophy is what you get. Just like every other kid now.
Yeah.
He didn't suffocate on his own.
Congratulations, you participated. All right, I'm done. I swear.
That's funny. But yeah, Chris, like I said, we're going to bring this up multiple times just because it's something really important, something that's big happening for us at least.
Well,
tell us about it.
So, as you know, we try and do fundraisers when we were the Green Fellas and Green Zone and Planet of the Nerds. And since we've been Red Shirts Remastered and we started this channel, September was blown because I was sick during the stream against a weekend, and everybody's schedule was crazy anyway back then. So we're trying to start small with, usually we do a whole February month thing, but we're going to do 2 days. Rare Disease Day is on the 29th this year. It's leap year, folks. It's leap year. It kind of threw me off because I thought it was still going to be on the 28th. And then I got told it was the 29th. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm doing a two-day streamathon because I'd already planned on the 28th. So got to do the 29th too. So we're going to do a 2-day streamathon thing and try and raise some money for FMF and ADE Global for Rare Disease Day. And we are going to hopefully, we're setting the bar low for what we're used to setting it as. One, because it's only 2 days, and two, because it's a different community, a different new community. Sure, there's some people who have crossed over, but for the most part, it's a newer community, and people who don't know everything about what's going on with me. So it'll be a good time also to learn some things. There's going to be interviews. We're going to be doing gaming. We're going to be doing podcasting. I'm going to be doing a reading of this for a little bit. So we'll start that series. It's going to be right here on YouTube. We're going to do it. We're not going to do it on Twitch because we don't want ads or anything like that getting in it. And it's a lot easier for it to live on YouTube automatically afterwards. It doesn't expire or anything like that. You don't have to worry about transferring it over so it doesn't expire. So all those things that we're used to. But yeah, it's a great cause. As you know, it's something very near and dear to me because I have a rare condition, familial Mediterranean fever, which September definitely we will get back in the swing of things for World Auto-Inflammatory Awareness Month. For sure, I'm going to be starting on planning that a lot sooner, just so I can make sure that we get back into the swing of things like we used to do. Because it's very important to me that I'm able to help these kids, and I hope it's important to you all as well. So,
absolutely, and a big reason why we're bringing this up now, obviously, we want you to know. Next week, that's when this is happening, right?
mm-hmm.
The other thing too is, this has definitely been more last minute playing, and we want to know your ideas for like what would you like to see us do during this. And so, for any ideas, anything that anyone thinks of over the next week, please let us know. We're open to ideas. We're open to whatever you all may want
to do. James.
Within the realm of I don't know.
Nothing off the wall suggested here, no. James.
So, but yes, as long as it's something more doable, like just whatever fun ideas people may have for us, So, we're open to listen. So, but yeah, I think that covers that for now. Is there? I guess we'll just go on into the pick of the. Oh my god, our pick of the weeks.
Pick of the weeks.
So
pick of the weeks, huh?
Yeah, pick of the weeks.
Pick of the weeks. Say that
pick
again.
Of the week. Well, that came out wrong. Picks of the week.
Picks of the week.
There we go. Like, so. Anyway.
Oh, okay. That's a reasonable one. Playing one of your video games on its hardest difficulty. Sifu. I'll play Sifu on its hardest difficulty. That's what I'll do. That's a great idea, James. I will play Sifu on the hardest difficulty. Oh, God.
There you go.
Hope I don't break my controller.
What you got, Gio? You're muted.
You're muted again, Gio.
My bad. I was just gonna say or you could just play like Battletoads or Ninja Gaiden on the regular difficulty.
That's true. Battletoads on regular.
I was gonna say my mind first went to like, the TMNT game that you want me to play.
Oh, I do have the Cowabunga collection.
Yes.
Yeah, with those I never found
lots
difficult.
Of ideas.
The underwater level.
Oh yeah, that first one. I forgot about
the first one. Not those arcadey ones. No.
Yeah.
The first platform one.
First one does have a lot of tricks that once you learn them, it's like, oh my god, like it's actually a lot easier than you think. But when you're a kid trying to figure it out, and there's no instructions,
and then now our reflexes aren't as good as they were. So it's like...
mine are better than they ever been. That's not the problem. I could play that game way better now than when I was a kid.
Well, it must be nice to be nice and healthy and have good reflexes still.
Well, my reflexes are good, I can tell you that. But that's
I used to be a soccer goalie, man. I could dive from the center of the goal all the way into the top post. Now, and be quick about it,
I don't know if I'm out there going and playing soccer, but video games is a little easier.
Still, your reaction times and reflexes get slower as you get older. They really do. I don't want to say a scientific fact, but from experience, should I say? Let's see here. Where did he say?
Yeah.
So, Cowabunga collection, Sifu. Those are some good ideas.
Reflexes have turned into refluxes.
Reflux.
Also, good to see you here.
What's up, Griffin?
Good to see you here. You know, we're literally just talking about that. We are doing our special charity stuff next week. A week from today, we'll be doing a special 2-day streamathon. And if you have any ideas for fun things that you'd like us to do, let us know. You can come up with good ideas. I know you can.
Yeah.
You know, not like I'm putting you on the spot or anything. But
hello, Baldo.
And we got a new Baldo.
What's
Great
up?
to see you here as well. Quick little shout out. We last week on Thursday we did a over on the Red 5 channel, YouTube channel. We did a Red 5 Network YouTube channel. We did a book club discussion where we talked about Dark Force Rising, second book in the trilogy to the Heir to the Empire trilogy.
Nice.
And Ubaldo was there. He's been with us in the book club where we're now talking, where we are now currently reading The Last Command. And also they have right now, we're going to be doing another book in April because it's going to be like every book covers like a month or two roughly, to where anyway, we're doing another book in April. But we're kind of taking a break from the Star Wars stuff, even though it may be the thing that brings a lot of us together there, hence the Red 5 name. And so anyway, I did just want to highlight this while I'm thinking about it. That there is a poll up right now for what we're doing up for April right now. We're doing like a little bracket thing, and there's two options left now of it's in between The Martian or Princess Bride, which I did not know was originally a novel. So go over there, vote now, and join us in April for our next book. And yes, James, be sure to join. I can send you a link to the Discord where we're doing all that too, and you can do the join us for The Martian and suggest The Shining later on. I think that'd be an excellent October read right there. I'm sure we'd love to do something Halloweeny then. Shining would be fantastic. I know what I'd push for.
He said weenie.
I know what I'd push for in October because I've been wanting to read it for a long time. Is the classic Bram Stoker Dracula. So we'll see. All excellent choices though.
Needful things that'll mess your head up.
Is it only fiction or do nonfiction? You know, I don't know. I mean, this is just a new thing we just started, so I'm sure we'd be open to do like some nonfiction.
You guys want to do William Shatner?
But yeah,
Patrick Stewart's biography. Make it so.
That's such a great title.
It is. It's fantastic. I still need to listen to it. I have an audiobook. Anyway.
Billy D. Williams just released one as well. He's been going on tour recently for that.
Is it cooler than The Other Side of the Pillow? If anybody's a Family Guy fan, they'll know that joke. Billy D. Williams is cooler than The Other Side of the Pillow.
You know, James, I'll be sure to send you a link in so you can join us.
James is going to try and indoctrinate you.
You know, James reads a lot. He has a lot of good
suggestions. I'm messing with James. James knows I'm messing with him.
We welcome anybody.
James. Hey, thank you using abused podcast for just take.
Hey,
for subscribing.
Hey, Scott, how's it going?
Worked. The alert actually worked. I'm very, very amazed. Wow.
And so, with all these other people coming in, I just want to
go ahead. Talk about it again.
What we were just talking about it again. Exactly. Next week, we're doing a special 2-day special charity streamathon. Streamaganza, yeah. Tell us about what it's for.
So it's Rare Disease Day on February 29th. It's always on the last day of February, which actually I always thought it was only on the 28th, but have never dealt with it on a leap year. So this is my first leap year with it because this is my 4th year raising money for the organization for an organization called FMF and AID Global. FMF stands for Familial Mediterranean Fever. It's an autoinflammatory condition or autoinflammatory disease, which is what the AID stands for. And I have familial Mediterranean fever. I was born with it. It means I'm missing the protein in my DNA that controls inflammation in the body. There's various different mutations of it, and I've got a rare one. So that it's, and the whole condition is rare. So that's why I do Rare Disease Day, and then we do in September as well. In previous channel that we were all a bunch of us were actually all of us basically were on Greenfellas. We raised money there, a good amount of money, but this being a new channel, we're, you know, and a lot of life getting in the way that for all of us, that we're gonna try it small with a 2-day event, the 28th and the 29th of February. We're gonna do gaming. There's gonna be podcasting, interviews. I'm gonna do a reading of this. I'm gonna, not the whole book, I'm gonna start a reading of this. This is, if you don't know, this is literally the book that was in Ant-Man Quantumania, where
hopefully it's better than the movie. All I'm saying.
I mean, it's gonna be the story of the Avengers and everything, you know, so it's going to be fun. But they literally made the book that was in the movie, and it's really the book. So I'm really excited, and really excited to share it with you all. Because it's not Paul Rudd, it's Scott Lang. So we're gonna be reading as Ant-Man, not as Paul Rudd. It's great. It's gonna be great. But yeah, we're gonna try and raise some money. I'm not gonna put a number out there to say how much we want to raise. We'll have a bar and everything that we'll create for then, an alert and everything. We all do it through Streamlabs charity. It's really great because it links right to the organization. We don't touch a cent of it. You just, if you go here, I'll even bring it up. Let me pull up the, think about it. And you got me all in the mode now, Spencer.
You know, while you're bringing that up too, if anybody has any fun ideas that you want us to do, just let us know.
Yeah,
we're open to ideas. We want to know what you all want to see us do.
Might do some karaoke. You guys might see Spencer sing on
camera. Oh
God,
that's something you don't want. It's something you do not want.
Yes.
I don't think you all do not want. You all definitely do not want that. Trust me.
Wrong login.
So, but yeah, I think
Remastered. But you go to streamlabscharity.com.
Yeah, they have a great charity system they have going on over there where, as Chris was saying, we don't touch a dime of it. It just goes straight to the organization. All we do is just put it out there and set it up.
Go to FMF. Search. You can actually donate anytime. You can go here and donate to them anytime.
Very true.
You can also fundraise for them anytime you want to. And the money then goes right to them. Look, they even have someone else who's used the site since, because of we've used it, that raised $650 for them. He ran a 5K or something. So
very awesome.
Yeah, really cool. And look, we raised back in September, we didn't do a lot. We raised $50. Funny thing is, so the weekend for September, it's World Auto-Inflammatory Awareness Month. Last thing, and then we'll get down back to the show, regularly scheduled program. And it's World Auto-Inflammatory Awareness Month, and September 17th is FMF Day. And, well, I happen to have an FMF flare on FMF Day, so we weren't able to do our weekend stream. I was in the hospital, actually, on the day, and ended up in the hospital for a couple of days. So, yeah, that was a very, very, very not fun time for me, and I was very, very upset because, I've done this for the past 3 years now, 3.5 years, and so I'm really excited to get it back on, even though we're starting small. It'll be good. It'll be great. It might be just a lot of me by myself, but we're going to be going, even if we start early. We're gonna be going late into the night as well. So we'll be there all hours for 2 days basically, and entertaining you, and hopefully you'll donate some money to this organization. It's for children. That it basically helps pay for things like therapy, group and medicine and things like it's helping. I'm not gonna lie, it helped pay for a genetic test for me that I'm dealing with some BS with. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into that part, but the organization was able to pay for it because I've raised enough. You all have raised enough money. People who have watched us before. James is part of that previous crowd, and then of course Matthew Coburn as well. The dude is Matthew Coburn. So, and then Spencer and Gio were front lines helping raise money. So Spencer became a green fella at the end there, essentially. So I could go on for hours about this, but we're gonna save that all for next Wednesday. Again, Spencer said, give us ideas of what you want to see us do on a long stream, or if we raise a certain amount of money, what you would want to see one of us do, things like that. So give us those ideas, send them over to our Twix account, on our Discord, whichever. Yeah.
Absolutely. You are 100% correct. We want your input. Like I said, there won't be any money raised without you all, and we want to also keep you all entertained. So, that is what we are here to do. So, speaking of what we are here to do, we're here for this little podcast episode of this thing that we sometimes do called Rambling Red Shirts. I don't know if you've heard about it, but obviously you have if you're here though. So, and now you're stuck here with us. So, enjoy what we have to talk about. For first, we have each of our picks of the week. Where I'm going to go first because I'm selfish. No, I'm just joking. That's what we planned on. And so, my pick of the week is something I usually don't like. I haven't actually ever picked anything like this. Because usually I pick like a game or a movie or show or something like that. But what I have this time, this week, is I'm going to pick with a music artist or a band, Disturbed, because I actually just saw them in concert 2 nights ago, and it was an absolutely amazing time. They were playing with, there's my pictures you have there. Look at that. And so that's they were playing with Falling in Reverse and a little another all-female band named Plush. And so it was a fantastic time. Plush is a newer band. They're pretty solid, and they actually did a cover for Barracuda, which they did a great job with, and so that was awesome. Falling in Reverse, they're a bit bigger. They've done some pretty good things, pretty good songs there. They opened with my favorite song by them, which is Zombified, and then Disturbed had like a whole I think it's a 21 song set that they did, including 3 solo parts. And so it was great having I was so happy with it all, because I love me some Disturbed, and it was just so much fun. I will say though, they did an amazing job with like Sound of Silence, and when there's the I'm trying to remember what the song title is called, but where like the one where it goes like about showing the light in it. Like he asked for everyone to like turn on their cameras and show the light during that, and so that was awesome. And so it was a fantastic time. I think you're muted, Chris, but
I can hear it in my head, is what I was saying.
Yeah. And so anyway, Disturbed was amazing. They all did a great job though, and it was an absolutely fantastic concert. I had so much fun. It's the most fun I've ever had at a concert, and so it was just so much fun just being there and jamming out the entire time to them, and so much fun. Absolutely cannot recommend it enough. It's a great tour. It's been awesome.
The green and the red ones are your best pictures for sure.
I should say also, I was like pretty much like all the way in the back. Getting those cheap seats. But hey, it's a smaller arena though where it is, and so it's pretty awesome though. So much cool stuff. It was great. Like they all the bands did a really good job, and so I was just so happy like throughout it, enjoying really all of it. So um, amazing time. So yeah, that's my pick of the week is Disturbed. And as Ubaldo said, they are great bands indeed, 100%. All right. Anyway, next up is Chris. What is your pick of the week?
Well, I'm a little bit embarrassed. And the only reason I'm a little bit embarrassed is because I always have ragged on this game for how long, Spencer? Probably since you've known me.
How long have I known you?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's been like 4 years now, and since I've known you, I've always ragged on this game. But my pick of the week, dun dun dun, is Fortnite.
What happened? Are you sick? What's going on?
No. Well, first of all, let's start with the fact that they added a Lego mode. And
right,
what
is true.
Look, I don't care if you're an adult, a kid, everyone loves Legos. Everybody. And so that right there, and it's a survival game at that, which is one of my favorite. Yeah. It's one of my favorite genres to play, especially multiplayer. Single player survival, not as much. They're fun, but it's more fun multiplayer always.
Agreed.
And so just the Lego aspect of it is it's incredible. It's so much fun. We've been having tons of fun in it. We need to get back to it. They just added fishing. So we all love fishing in our games that we play. All of us. It's Now, they've also, and this is something I learned recently, that Epic Games, bravo to Epic Games, buying harmonics and reviving basically the Rock Band brand.
Is that what happened?
That's what happened, yeah. So Harmonix was bought out, and then the online services for Rock Band 4 were all switched over to Epic, and now they've got this Fortnite festival mode in Fortnite, which they're adding Lady Gaga for next season. I wouldn't buy that festival pass with a 20-foot pole.
I like one of the songs in it, which is Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden.
Nice. They have that in there? Okay, we'll see.
But it's only part of that, so take that as you will.
Yeah, well, eventually it'll be in the regular store. So I know that. That's cool. But yeah, that's the thing. They're adding a great music lineup. They do have a great lineup. I mean, some of the songs, let's see if they've got, there's a list somewhere, isn't there?
Well, they have a list of like all the initial songs, and then they've posted a bunch. They've added a lot. I think main highlights that we can say they've added like 3 Green Day songs. Oh God, what else have they added? They just had they added
All American Rejects, Dirty Little Secret, U2 songs, Cranberries. The Weeknd was last season, so they've got a bunch of Weeknd songs.
Solid band right there.
Solid. Just so many other great songs. Just a great lineup in general. But also the fact that now that's basically the reemergence of the music games because of Fortnite. And they're going to be a new guitar is coming out, which and
as well as making as many guitars as they can.
That's fantastic. And they've got a Fortnite, the Rocket Racing, which is cool. I'm not a huge fan of it, but only because I think when we played with Spencer, and he was like way higher rank, and it put us in races that were way higher rank than we could handle, and it just wasn't that fun because of that. But either way, it was still a solid mode. So really cool, and that's a partnership with Rocket League, which is really cool. So like they're creating all these partnerships. They're the one thing I've always respected about Fortnite is that they're licensing. They're the licensing gods. They are just like Funko in collectibles is basically the licensing gods in video games. It's Fortnite. Call of Duty's close behind because they're really starting to ramp up things. Like I've seen Lara Croft and Call of Duty and stuff, and Skeletor we've had, and crazy shit like that. But Fortnite still is the king of licensing, to the point where they've added my favorite ever franchise. As a kid, I had basically all the toys. I watched all the cartoons, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they added an event, and it made me spend money. They've added skins. I bought the Futurama Bender skin. Actually, I bought the whole pack, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
I bought the whole
you just
pack.
mainly use Bender.
Yeah, but I mainly use Bender. And then I bought the whole all 4 TMNT skins, and I bought a bunch of songs. Like, what they're doing, as someone who has always ripped on Fortnite, now when they added the no build mode, that's when I really was like, maybe I'll give it a try. But now when they're going that extra step, instead of turning it into a game, they're turning it into an experience. That's really, because I'm a sports guy, and experiences is what I'm all about, creating the best experience. Opportunity cost, that's a big thing in business and in marketing, is what kind of opportunity cost am I spending my money? Is my money giving me my value? And I have to say, Fortnite has done an excellent job of giving me my value on the money I have spent. So that's why my pick of the week, Fortnite. And we're going to be playing more because we have to finish the TMNT event. Well, Spencer's...
That's true. Yeah,
Spencer's got the pass done. I'm almost done that. But then we have to finish the phases so we can get a Krang back bling, which is going to be badass.
Be Krang. Or not be Krang, but like have a Krang on your back.
Krang on my back.
Watch you as you shoot people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He goes, Shredder!
Yeah. Oh, boy. All right, anyway. Yeah, Fortnite, what a game it's become. It's quite crazy to see how much evolved it's become. And we have a Mr. Retro in the chat.
Hey,
welcome in.
What's
we are
up,
live.
Mr. Retro?
How are you doing, buddy? But anyway, let's continue onwards with our picks of the week. What is your pick of the week, Gio?
All right. My pick of the week this week is I guess you could say recurring game. I mentioned this, I think, on one of the first few episodes.
I think your first episode, Elden Ring, was your pick.
And
first episode,
that's what I'm going with again.
On number 13, it comes full circle.
Yeah. So that's Elden Ring. So for those who don't remember, that came out back in February 25th, 2022. So it's actually almost the second anniversary of the game now. It was wildly successful when it first came out, won several Game of the Year awards, sold over 20 million copies. I've gone on about the game in length before, so I don't want to go over too much of the same stuff that I've already said. Beyond, if you haven't played the game, you absolutely should. What's interesting about it is today we got some new news about the DLC for the game. So essentially what happened was a year ago, they announced they were doing DLC for the game after the game had already been out for a year. And now, so it was February 2023, they announced DLC. Now, if we're in February 24, they're finally announcing a date, and there was a trailer for this DLC. So the first thing to mention is the date. So we've got a concrete date for the DLC, which is, I had it right here. Where'd it go? June. Oh, God.
21st.
June 21st. I had it right in front of me. And as soon as I go to look for it, it's gone. So yeah, June 21st, 2024, this year, we will have the DLC for the game. What this is, if you're not familiar with From Software and how their games kind of work, is they do more like a full expansion. So this is going to be quite a bit of content. This isn't going to be just, an extra level and one boss. Like, I'm expecting this to have multiple bosses, multiple new weapons, equipment, some magic and skills, just a little bit of everything in terms of gameplay. What really interests me is how this is going to continue to flesh out the story. One of the big things for anybody who played the original game, had a really interesting story with the lore that was built by both Miyazaki and, of course, George R.R. Martin. But there was one big unanswered storyline that they never really got into, and that was Miquella's storyline. So basically, the main god in the game that most of the people in the lands between worship was Queen Marika, and most of the bosses many of the bosses you fight in the game are her offspring, her children. She had two in particular, though, that were different than the rest because they were made without any kind of relationship. It was just like a I don't even know how you would describe that, but basically she has these two kids that were spawned from herself, and they were both cursed. One of them was Melania, which if you played the game, you know is the toughest boss in the game. The other one is Miquella, her brother, who makes a brief appearance, but you never really find out what happens to him or what there's a lot of unanswered questions about his storyline. And in the trailer, they reveal that that's what they're going to be getting into here is what happened to Miquella, what happened with him. He makes an appearance in the DLC, and by the looks of it, we're finally going to get an answer to those unanswered questions from the main game and kind of give us some closure on what happens there. So I'm super excited about that. The trailer itself, I don't want to go too much on a deep dive of like everything that's in it and there's a lot of people who are going to be doing those deep dive videos. For me, I already know I'm going to enjoy this, so I'm going to try to keep it as spoiler free as possible for myself, because I already know what to expect. I don't really need to see everything that's going to be in there. And just from even one viewing of the trailer, I was like, okay, it's not, I will say not quite visually what I was expecting, but I already know I'm going to enjoy it. I know I'm going to have a great time. So that's something I'm going to be looking forward to. So June 21st, 2024, we're going to get the Shadow of the Erd Tree. And
yeah. It looks cool. I've heard some. I don't think it was confirmed, but I saw a list of like supposedly what they're saying of like what's all being added. I'm like, that's fantastic for an expansion, and it's also like pricey for an expansion too. But it's also doing a lot, so it makes sense because it has a price tag of $40. So
yeah,
and they're also doing a edition where you can get both the DLC and this as well on the same day as well. So
for
cool
sure.
stuff.
And that's something that they've done in the past was, if you don't have the game, you can get the collection with the DLC and the main game for a reduced price. Yeah, and I will say that was the one thing I was like, oh, it is a little pricey, but for FromSoft, if they're charging that, then I normally I would never do this with a company, but they've built up enough goodwill where I believe that there's that much value in it. So yeah, I would believe that it's worth that amount of money that they're charging. They haven't burned me once in at least 10 years, so I'll be willing to pay that, even though I would say it is a little pricey than what you would expect, but there might be quite a bit of content here.
There's also a collector's edition for the DLC.
Yeah, that looks sick.
Which is crazy. I mean, how many DLCs have a collector's edition just for the DLC? And it's literally just the DLC. It's a art book, a statue, soundtrack, and the code for the DLC. And that's it.
It's crazy. I think that's kind of what tells me the direction that they're going in with this, is that it's not just what you think of when you think of DLC. Mm-hmm. This is essentially the next chapter of the game. So I'm thinking of more of like what we got with like StarCraft, where the original StarCraft, you had the Brood War expansion, which was the whole, essentially the whole second part of the game, or a whole new game, new campaign anyway, right? So that's what I'm expecting here.
Yeah. It's from what I'm hearing of like what they're adding. It's almost like, hey, here's another like third of the game for you or something like that, you know? So
as opposed to them just doing like Elden Ring 2 and, and then charging like a full $80 for it. And it's the same game, but so they could have done that if they really wanted to. So,
yeah. Plus, I'm hearing that what you could say his name was like Nicholas or whatever his name is. He's he's gonna be
Mikola,
as
the character in the game,
Nicola.
you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna be like just as hard as Milena is what they're saying. So
Yeah. I thought that's one thing I wasn't sure is like, oh, should they even have him as a boss? Like you kind of want to because that's one of the things is meeting all of the different demigods in the game and fighting them. But I never really got the impression that he was kind of the character that you would fight, but just by what you learn about him in the game. But based on what we're seeing in this trailer, I'd be very surprised if you don't fight him. Like he definitely looks like he's a boss in this trailer. So that will be
lots of exciting
interesting
stuff
to see. Yeah, the cool thing about his character is that him and his sister were both cursed. So like his sister was cursed with scarlet rot, so she lost her limbs and parts of her body. She had to wear a prosthetic arm, and she was eternally cursed with the scarlet rot. Whereas Mikola, his curse was that he was eternally cursed with childhood. So all depictions of him in the game are as a child, but then essentially he built his own tree, like the Elden or the Erd tree that you see in the game. He built his own tree to attempt to become an adult to break that curse. So that's one of the mysteries that we never get to see in the main game. Is like what happened with that. We kind of see his body for a little bit, but we don't know what happened, what's going on, if he's still. There was a lot of questions unanswered. So that's, yeah, like I said, I'm just looking forward to jumping back into that world.
That's so exciting. Very exciting. Well, let's just go ahead and get into our news stories, though. Where Chris, yours is first up.
First is Mr. Retro back. So we can.
I don't think so. That's why I said go ahead, and then you can go ahead.
All right. Well, remember, didn't we? Was it 2 podcasts ago we talked about the rumors? Or was it last podcast?
I want to say it was last podcast.
Okay, we talked about the rumors of games. Xbox
because we talked about the podcast being a thing, and we discussed the rumors, and it's kind of one of those things to where, like, some of it's true, some of it isn't, and so, if you want to know all those rumors, check out the last episode that we did where we talked about that. But
now we have facts.
Now we have facts.
Now we have facts. So last week we got an episode of the Xbox podcast, which was basically they called it an Xbox business update, and it essentially cleared some air on all those rumors that we discussed. And it's, at the time, we were told 4 games. We weren't told specifically what games. We were told it wasn't Indiana Jones and it wasn't Starfield, and but we were told it was community-driven games that weren't necessarily meant to be just exclusives, that need basically life to breathe, like room to breathe, and need to be out in the ecosystem. Well, then, we started to get more events, and then we finally today got this article from Xbox to confirm all 4 titles coming to other platforms are Grounded from Obsidian, Pentiment from Obsidian, Hi-Fi Rush from Tango Gameworks, and Sea of Thieves from Rare Interactive. Which, Spencer, what's so special about Sea of Thieves going to PlayStation?
Oh, well, we know Sea of Thieves is from a little company, in case you don't know, called Rare. Famous for all sorts of big titles, Battletoads, and, Banjo-Kazooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day. They've done a lot, but I think those are like the ones I think of. Of course, you've done other ones, Blast Gorge. What's that other one that they've done? Anyway, lots of different ones that they've done. I was thinking of it in 64.
Perfect Dark.
Perfect Dark, yes.
Perfect Dark.
Oh my gosh, Donkey Kong Country.
GoldenEye,
yeah. So amazing.
So many
games,
anyway,
so many great games that they've done, and despite them having such a great library of games that so many people know and love, not a single one of those has ever been on PlayStation. And so this is going to mark the very first Rare game to hit a PlayStation console,
It's
which is
amazing.
very interesting.
With how long that company
Yeah,
has been
yeah.
around, it is incredible. But so
It's really crazy to
yeah.
think about.
Yeah, so these games were announced, and they're not just coming. Two of them are going to Switch as well, which are
That's very
Grounded
interesting.
and Pentiment.
Yeah, we'll cover those
We'll
little
cover
more in the
those in a
direct
little bit
part.
later.
Well, you can just go ahead and talk
I
about
mean,
them
we're
now,
just
though.
gonna say, yeah,
They're all Xbox.
They're on Xbox, but
They're
Grounded,
games that's been out. So
yeah, Grounded and Sea of Thieves are those community-driven games Phil Spencer was talking about during the business update during the Xbox podcast. And then Pentiment and Hi-Fi Rush were the games that he was referring to that weren't necessarily meant to live just on Xbox and blah 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 blah, because Hi-Fi Rush was a shadow drop that no one even expected, and Pentiment has that little weird awkward niche game that needs, again, that room to breathe and grow so that other people can experience. Otherwise it's never going to gain a following. It's just going to die because it's of the kind of game it is. It's that you play it once and it's it's a story driven game. So those were the games that he was talking about. But one thing that that's really interesting, and I'll come back to us for that leading up to that, there was apparently a memo that was going out to everybody, and here it is. And it was The Verge got a hold of it. How I don't know, but you never ask. You just say, okay, thank you for the information. That says, today at noon Pacific, we'll be posting a special episode of the official Xbox podcast, blah, blah, blah. Just everything I've talked over. But where is it? The big thing that Phil Spencer spoke about in this memo, and Spencer's very skeptical about this, very skeptical, a future where every screen is an Xbox. It really goes to show you what their business model is. That it's not about consoles. Like, there's no console war to them. For them, it's making games accessible to everyone. And this is the beginning of that, I feel like. Hell, apparently in Europe, I didn't know this. This is for me following Jez Corden, who's the editor for Windows Central. He in Europe, Activision Blizzard games are licensed to be on streaming platforms by Ubisoft. So they have to, which is like, so the fact that there's that limitation, this is to me what Microsoft is. And so Microsoft's actually working with Ubisoft to try and make it so that Call of Duty gets put on all, and other Activision Blizzard games get put on all these other streaming platforms like xCloud. Like, we won't see even if we see Call of Duty on Game Pass day one, which I'll get into in a second, we might not see it on xCloud day one because of that reason. But one other thing that was announced at this business update is Diablo 4 is coming to Game Pass on March 28th. And that's very exciting because to me, that opens the window for all the other Activision games coming to Game Pass, where there's now talk that Call of Duty will come to Game Pass day one, and everyone was skeptical about that. People are still skeptical about that, but all the signs and all the talk from Phil Spencer himself lead to that. So let's see here. There was also, here we go. Here is where we actually got, there's an interview that Phil Spencer did with GameFile, which is a small newsletter video game site who apparently has an in. But what he was told, our intent is the full portfolio of games from ZeniMax, Activision Blizzard, and Xbox Game Studios will be on Game Pass day one. Day one equals when they go on sale. Exactly what that means for COD is a little fuzzy. Existing Call of Duty games aren't on Game Pass yet. This year's COD hasn't even been announced, and Microsoft has advised fans that there will be a lag on making this all happen. So, Spencer said there is development work to be done to get Game Pass launches going for the Activision Blizzard games. We're doing the back end work to make them come to PC and console simultaneously, Spencer said. So this is a really interesting article. There's a ton more that's been talked about, including the new console that's supposed to be coming at the end of this year. That is going to be basically a Series X refresh. It's going to be, apparently they said in that same business update, the most powerful console like generation refresh ever. We'll see how PlayStation counters that, you know. But to me, that also is like, wait a minute, is this the last console? And that's how a lot of other people have been feeling because of the games going to PlayStation, and they're like, whoa, hold on, no, that's not happening. It's now the big thing about this new console is it's probably not going to have a disk drive. This is the big thing for Microsoft, is they want basically games to be accessible everywhere. You know, you can play it anywhere. To the point where they've had, where's the actual first? Did I lose it? Oh well. Here's the guy. So this guy right here, he's an Xbox insider. Here, actually, I can get to it easily. It's really fast. He's an Xbox insider, and the P3 is Phil Spencer on Xbox. So if you didn't know that, now you know. He always puts it up when he has his interviews. He's not like shy about it. He doesn't hide it. P3 is Phil Spencer, and he's asking him here in Spanish, "Hey Phil, any word on or update on being able to play my own games on xCloud?" And in Spanish, Phil says, "Should be this year." He says, "Thanks, man. Have a great night. You too." So, this is from, you know, this guy. I don't know if this is the same guy as this guy, but this is who reported it. And then this guy also said Phil Spencer's xCloud replies are good. And then we have Jez Corden confirming it, that this was actually Phil Spencer, who is an insider, you know, who's reporting the same thing. So it's all confirmed that by the end of this year, you'll be able to play all your probably most, I wouldn't say all, there are probably going to be some limitations, I'm sure, most of your own digital games from anywhere over the cloud, which is I'd like to get both of your thoughts on that, because you both have experienced cloud gaming somewhat. I know, Spencer, you've on the Switch said it's awful.
I don't know if it's just from stuff I know about it.
Yeah,
I have tried the xCloud once though.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, xCloud was cool. Oh yeah, you tried it in Texas, right? Was it in Texas?
No, the one time I did it was I was at a hotel room with good internet, and I was playing Gears 5 right on this phone using touchscreen controls.
Yeah, well, and that's one thing. Well. You know, now they've added one thing they've added in the new update for Xbox this month is that if you stream into your Xbox, you don't need like on your phone. You don't need a controller anymore. You can navigate the menus and everything with touch controls.
Yeah, it was really cool too because that was like years ago when I did it, and like it was like I think it was when like it seems like that it was only like one of 2 or 3 games that was supported because it was one of the very first games with touch controls, and since then I know they've added a lot more games to it. But it was cool to try out because I was like, this hotel has surprisingly good internet because it's at like a resort in Florida. Is that, and so I believe that's the only time I've tried xCloud. But it's definitely very interesting to see them expand on being able to play your games from anywhere. Especially if you get that reliable internet as well. Like, if I was, I have a good sized library of stuff I bought. So if I could play so much of that stuff, and all I need is my phone at that same resort to play it. Or even now, I wonder how good it would work if if I brought like a tablet or something, it'd be interesting. So
yeah, absolutely. Geo, thoughts?
Yeah, I think one, without some more details on how that's going to work, it's hard to really have an opinion on it. I mean, it sounds great. My thing is, okay, let's put it this way: there's when you're giving people more options for accessibility, that I'm always for that. I will say, like, if they're continue to go the route of all digital, that does take away an option for people who want to or at the current time don't have great internet access for physical items. But of course I understand that it's kind of the direction things are going, where one, it's cheaper, two, it's better for the environment. But it is one less of an option. So in terms of them letting you play all your own own games on the cloud, like I said, that sounds great. I would need to know more details of how that's going to work, because I don't see where's the money coming from, and there has to be a financial incentive for them. I think what they want to move towards is stuff like Game Pass, right? They want people to have their subscription on Game Pass. You're going to be paying a monthly fee, and and then they can kind of control everything on their end how they want it to go. So that'd be my expectation, is like what financial benefit do they get out of letting you play your games on the cloud? There's got to be something there that we're not seeing, of like maybe you pay a fee for that service.
Well, most likely if you are doing that, you most likely have if you have xCloud, you have Game Pass Ultimate. Right? You have to have Game Pass Ultimate to be able to use xCloud. But you don't have to have
like that.
So to be able to play the games, you don't have to have Game Pass Ultimate to stream into your console. But you have to have Game Pass Ultimate to use xCloud. So there's a difference where the difference is, so you can stream into your console. Like my console could be on, right? And I could go to Timbuktu. I'm going to use a crazy, silly example.
And use the Xbox as the server,
and my own Xbox server, so I can log onto my Xbox and still play my games with touch controls. I can do that. What this is that it's an xCloud, and you just go to a library screen and you just click your game, and it opens the game on the phone or anything, So basically, what it's going to have to do is every single game is going to be on some sort of server. Which, to me, if I think about it, it sounds great. And by the time it's going to happen, I think things will change where the internet will be better. Internet will be better, servers will be better, things like that. But think about the queue times on those servers. Like, say, 50 million people want to play one game, and there's only 30,000 servers for it, So,
yeah, these are some things that they're going to have.
They're going to have to figure out exactly, which I think they're going to do. They're moving in that direction to figure the one thing that's really interesting is that they're taking the Microsoft Surface team that designs the Microsoft Surface and tasking them with designing the new Xbox. Which is very interesting to me, which means, to me, are they moving in a direction like Nintendo did and trying to go, you can take your gaming with you somehow?
Well, that could give them, a lot of people were worried about the loss of Xbox. But if Xbox becomes a thing that does more then you have more incentive to stay with Xbox.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like instead of having an Xbox console, maybe you have a tablet like
Xbox Media Center.
Yes, and it does everything for you.
Yes. It's exactly.
And you still have
right.
those options with the cloud and things like that. So.
And it can have a dock where you can then play your games on a big screen.
Absolutely.
You know, going a step ahead of what.
Dock. Maybe you can just do it wirelessly. But yeah,
that's true too. But why would you not want a dock? It'd be better connection. Exactly.
Yeah, it would be. You're right.
For latency. But you could have the option. Maybe, good business planning there, Gio. You'd sell it wirelessly, but you sell the dock extra if you want the dock. You can have the dock, but it comes wireless. Or you sell different models. You sell the wireless bundle. You sell the dock bundle. Yeah. There's a million ways you can do it. It's just the direction they're going. I'm really excited. It's really exciting. I'm excited for Sea of Thieves on PlayStation. I'm excited for people to get to play Hi-Fi Rush and little silly games like Pentiment, and Grounded is incredible. The fact that Nintendo Switch is going to have Grounded, like, man, that's going to be so much fun for people to play. Like, you're going to see like kids sitting in circles screaming about spiders are chasing them. It's going to be fantastic, because it's not a game that, yes. It's definitely something like, hey, Griffin, you'll be able to play Grounded on your Switch. Like, you can play Grounded. Now, will it have crossplay is the question.
I'd imagine so.
Because I too. Yeah.
Connect your Microsoft accounts.
Yes.
So, I mean, Sea of Thieves is a must because it's all on the same Microsoft servers. I'm pretty sure Grounded's wired that way as well. I haven't played it on. I don't know how it is on Steam though, but
yeah, because
I assume that's how it is.
Probably. So that'll be interesting. So yeah. So like, it crossplay again. That's another thing. That's the future. Every game. I think Microsoft wants that in gaming too. Is every game should be crossplay. People want because why do you think Microsoft is scooping up? And I was asked this, I want to hear both of your answers because it'll be interesting to see if they're very different or very similar. Because I have an answer that I know in my head already, and I'd like to hear yours. Why do you think Microsoft is scooping up all these game development studios?
Yeah, I don't know if they have a particular plan in mind. Like, I haven't done enough research to say, but I think that's they could have a specific plan in mind, but I think that's kind of just a general business practice. Like, a lot of these companies do that. They just consolidate the smaller companies, control.
But they're
assets,
not consolidating like smaller companies. That's the thing. They just got ZeniMax, Bethesda, and Activision Blizzard, two ginormous, huge companies. So no, I mean that's why I'm asking.
Now they're all under the Microsoft umbrella, right?
All of them. Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like they're controlling those assets. They
but specifically, why are they going? Why do you think they're going after game studios? Why not going after hardware studio tech companies and things like the tech companies,
Oh yeah. Well, I think that just goes to this whole thing of what we're discussing.
Exactly.
Is like the direction where it's going. It's not about
everywhere. And they want to be the biggest game publisher there is.
Like, gaming's the biggest.
Think about the company that did that
right now, I think.
What company did that we love?
It's the biggest and also the riskiest. But yeah.
The company that did it, that we love all love. What company did that? Focused on games.
Wait, what are you talking about?
What game studio that used to be a hardware studio as well just decided to focus on games and is now a big game publisher?
Well, I know there was Sega.
Oh,
there you go. Sega, exactly. And that's the direction Microsoft is.
But
going.
I think they're what they don't want to do, and I'm not saying you're suggesting this, but I don't think they want to do the route completely what Sega's doing.
No.
They want to have more control,
evolving
for
it.
Sure.
They're evolving that.
Yeah, Microsoft is not. I think a lot of people are so scared of Microsoft becoming less than what they are. They want to become more than what they are. They want to have more control and have more, this is not a move for them to become a smaller entity. You know what I mean? So I think that a lot of people are afraid of that happening. Like, oh, there's not going to be an Xbox and all this. And it's like, they're a company that's not, they're a company. So they're not in the business of making less money. You know what I mean? They want to expand their empire, and grow the company. So
yeah,
I think we don't have to be afraid of if they make some mistakes, but beyond that, their plan is, I think, evident in that sense. They're just expanding, growing their assets, and then just how do you get to the most eyes, right? That was the big problem with multi-platform gaming, is the you have to choose kind of which segment you want to develop for, and then you have to market towards that specific player base, etc., etc. The less segmentation you have, the more you can just generalize your game and get it to the biggest audience and make the most money potentially.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's all about making the most money. And I think in the past, companies hadn't focused on the console wars. Yeah, there was Nintendo and Sega, but like it wasn't that big of a console war back in the day. I feel like the console war started between Xbox and PlayStation. And I think Xbox is trying to end it. And not in a way of like, oh, they're trying to win it. No, they're trying to sign the peace treaty and say games should be for everybody.
Yeah, it's kind of an antiquated notion, and a lot of it comes through, we don't have to have a huge history lesson, but because of what happened in the past with these companies, right? And it's like enough time has passed now where it's like we don't really have to abide by those rules anymore. Like Nintendo had to kind of do what they had to do after the video game crash to they had their standards of quality, which was a big, they were gatekeeping who would have games on their console and who wouldn't. And then Nintendo was at the heart of a lot of it, really, because Matthew Coburn brings up Sega does what Nintendo don't, right? That was the first big war between those two companies. But then Nintendo was making enemies with Sony after they were going to make the PlayStation together, and then that kind of turned into Sony, Nintendo versus Sony, and there's a lot of backstory. I think that there is situations like that where a personal vendetta kind of gets in the way of the business of it, and then they become to like, we can't be friends with this company, so to speak, because of what they did to us in the past. And I feel like that definitely played a part into how video game history has evolved over the years, and why companies did this and why companies did that. But yeah, like if you want to get to the heart of like the soulless capitalism of it, it's like they just want to put your game out in front of as many faces who can buy the fucking game and give you some money. And it's like, to do that, you can't be he made me mad 20 years ago, or their company made me mad. Like, it's like the money doesn't have a I don't know. The more I think about it, it's really nuanced topics. There's other ways you could go into it, but being that this is Rambling Red Shirts, I could go on about
it. Xbox is I'm trying to think of the right way to word this. I think while they do want it to be more accessible, I feel like part of it is because they're also, I feel like, at a point to where they're forced to, I think, give in because they are losing this console war, if you will. And so I think there's a lot more to play into it as well. Especially as well, if you're trying to say you want games more accessible, right? That would mean having Game Pass everywhere, theoretically, right? And so, but at the same time, they've now announced something that I'm surprised more people haven't talked about more, that I felt like was big, that was said during the business update, was that Game Pass will only be on Xbox. As far as, well, obviously you have the PC Game Pass, but like, point is, it's not going to go to Switch, it's not going to go to PlayStation. And so I think that's important, because now Xbox has an identity of being the Game Pass machine, I guess. And then I honestly think while things have made money, I definitely think like, for example, I think Starfield made money, but I don't think it made the money they wanted to, right? The analogy, I was talking with someone earlier, like last week when we were talking about this, is like, say, I'm not sure of the exact number Starfield made, but how I envision it is like, let's say Starfield was like a movie, right? And you're expecting it to be $1 billion movie, but it didn't make that money. But I think it still did good numbers, say like 700 million, right? That's still good, but it's not where you wanted it to be. And I think a lot of Xbox's games are kind of at that point to where they're not necessarily selling as I don't think they're overall performing as they want to. And so I feel like part of it too is, while they're saying they want to be more accessible, and while it may work out for them in the long run, I think part of it too is that they're also kind of forced at this moment to give their hand partially to be able to make stay in the, to be able to keep on having a flow of income like that. But I think these games could be a good way to get into it as well.
Yeah, no, that's a really great point that you bring up. Is it's like, it's not necessarily what they're telling you, it's what's their motive behind, and what's the actual reason why they're doing something. And that's a perfectly good point that you made. Like, if you have to, you kind of have to do what you have to do to make the money, especially if you've invested all this in development of the game and everything. Mm-hmm. And it's like,
yeah, and that's kind of another thing too, is while you mentioned earlier, gaming is the biggest entertainment industry, biggest part of the entertainment industry right now. However, on the flip side, it's also the riskiest side of the entertainment industry right now too. You have so much resources that you have to put in, and if your game flops, if one game flops, then your studio could be shut down, right? The absolute blunder that Suicide Squad is in right now could mean that Rocksteady could be no more after this. And so it just, that's kind of the reality of where it's at now. So
yeah, I think also Phil Spencer made a good point about the industry, is that while in previous years we've seen a lot of growth and change in the industry, in 2023, while there were some great titles, and these are his words, while there were some great titles, well, and I don't remember what else he said specifically, but that was, I remember him saying that the industry, he said, didn't grow at all, and that's why we saw those cuts in jobs recently, unfortunately. And I mean, I don't want to talk more about that, but it's a fact of life that there were all these cuts in the video game industry because it didn't grow. And I think, again, like one thing we've joked about with all these games going to PlayStation, and we joked about this, I think, last week on the podcast, was we gotta recoup some of that Activision money, and so yeah, your point is very valid, Spencer. If you gotta make that money somehow by getting, by
I will say, also, as a tangent off of this too, something I find really interesting now as well, and we'll a couple of the games that's going to be shown, or a few games that we're going to get into here in just a bit, is that there's some notable IPs that are now just completely skipping Xbox as well, and
yeah,
like IPs that have been on Xbox that are skipping it. Like, for the one that comes to mind right now is the newest Gundam game is now just completely outright skipping Xbox, which is from that's a Bandai game, right? Bandai Namco game. So like they're that's the publisher that freaking brought you Elden Ring. So so it's like that's have a Bandai game miss your console, even after you've had.
So, to be clear, that one's
rights
coming
like
out
that?
for both Switch and PlayStation, but not Xbox.
Correct.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Now, one thing I will say is when it comes to games from Japan, Xbox is a lot of times left out of the loop. And now I know that Phil Spencer and company have been working hard to change that, and have brought
some of them I
yes.
understand
Yeah,
too, and
it's-
that is
yeah.
because Xbox barely has a presence in Japan.
It's
If you
funny
go
that
look at
you
game
bring that
hunting
up, 'cause
videos in Japan,
I'd
go
completely
on.
forgotten that, but because they had, I thought they had done a pretty good job of changing that perception over there. Granted, I don't live in Japan, so I don't know, but I remember when it first came out, people in Japan hated Xbox. They wanted nothing to do with it, and I felt like they've done a pretty good job of kind of changing that perception. But yeah, maybe it's not as changed. Maybe they still have those issues, like that you're saying. Something I hadn't considered in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, from my understanding, it's still not a big presence over there. But like, I get some IPs, right? Like the new anime IPs, I understand not having that on Xbox. You know what I mean? But when you have like bigger, Gundam is a huge anime that's had games on Xbox. So when you just see one just skip Xbox completely now, I don't know. I think it's a concerning sign. So we'll see. We shall see.
We shall see.
We shall see.
Oh, yes, my precious.
I don't know. It'll be an interesting
direction.
I think overall, though, it'll be an interesting direction for Xbox. I've heard that there's 3 other games that they're, depending on how these do, they may release some others.
Yeah,
I remember
Sim
2 of them.
was one of them.
Flight Sim was one. There's one. The other one is that they're thinking about launching the new next Doom.
Yeah, Doom Year
on all
Zero.
consoles,
but there was another
and I don't
one.
remember the other. I do not remember the other one.
Yeah,
Now.
neither do I.
But those were the bigger 2, though, of the 3.
Yes. But yeah, so I think overall, what the bottom line is that we'll have to watch. I think
Absolutely.
we'll see Call of Duty, the new Call of Duty Day 1 on Game Pass this year. I think we will over the summer get the dump of Activision games. Probably close to Summer Game Fest, be my guess, because Xbox always does their event then as well. So perfect time for them to do it. But I'm very excited for the future of Xbox. Hey, look, it's Patrick.
Yep. Here he is.
A little bit of a slip up, huh? Little bit of a slip.
Just a little, huh?
A little bit of a slip.
All
up.
right.
But
There's a crash joke in there somewhere.
Since there's a bunch of people here now, check Discord. All right, I will. Why don't you start with the announcement?
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to be 1 week from today, we're going to be starting a special little 2-day streamathon. So next week on the 28th and going into the next day, the 29th. So a 2-day streamathon we're doing for charity. Tell us about this charity, Chris.
So, yeah, I'll tell you about the charity while you go read Patrick's message in Discord and respond to it. Because I know you'll want to. As there he goes, folks. So, we're going to be raising money we have in the past for an organization called FMF and AID Global Association. FMF stands for Familial Mediterranean Fever, and it is an autoinflammatory condition or disease, and that's what the AID stands for, autoinflammatory disease. And I have familial Mediterranean fever. It is why I am disabled. I have a genetic mutation where I'm missing the protein in my DNA that controls inflammation in the body, and there's different mutations of it, and I've got one, and it's a very rare condition. And with February 29th being Rare Disease Day, Disclaimer, I thought it was the 28th, which is why we're doing the 28th and the 29th. Thought the 29th is Rare Disease Day because it's the last day in February every year. We're going to raise money for FMF and AID Global again. Hopefully this will help us get back in the swing of doing our charity streams, and then come September for World Auto-Inflammatory Awareness Month and FMF Day, we'll be able to do our month-long thing again. Yes, leap year, Matthew Coburn, correct. Leap year. Stupid leap year. And so yeah, just gonna be 2 days of fun streaming. All four of us will be there at some point. And I'll be there the whole time. And yes, thank you, Patrick. Want to learn more about FMF and AID? Check out their website there. Look at that, Patrick.
All right there.
Yeah. And we
But
will be
since
we'll
yeah, I was
be
just gonna
doing
say
it
that.
through Streamlabs charity and streaming right here on YouTube, and all the money goes right to the organization.
Yes, and we're going to be here for those 2 days, and that means those are going to be longer days where we're doing stuff. But what kind of stuff? Let us know what you all want to potentially see us do. What would you like to see us do to help raise some money? What would you like to see us do that could be fun to do? You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be gaming related because that's always the easiest to go to. But what else could we do? You know. And so, what we have some ideas, but at the same time, we want to know what would you like to see. And so, I'll just say this right now. You know, something that we were talking about, I guess earlier today, right? Whenever we were talking about ideas, was I was like, this would be a great time to essentially do cheesy. There you go.
I'm in. God damn it, man! I'm in. You, me, and Patrick, Spencer, and Gio's the announcer because he doesn't have his camera. He doesn't have a camera, so like you, me, and Patrick do it, and then Gio goes like a horse race announcer.
I'm dead last.
There goes Spencer eating some blue cheese. Oh no! And here comes Patrick close behind on some Colby. Oh, here comes Chris with some.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, but yeah, anything that any suggestions you have, let us know. And even if it's just like something that we're kind of just brainstorming about too, is like we've had to find ideas for different kinds of shows we could do. And I was thinking, you know, this could be a great time for us to essentially kind of do like a beta for any of these kinds of shows to try out as well, you know, or even maybe bring in some of you all if any of you all would want to come in. So lots of cool stuff we could do.
Yes. Ooh, maybe we'll actually try and probably be hard to get development hell in. Maybe Thursday night if we could get John.
To be determined, everybody.
Yes. No, it would have to be Wednesday night when Patrick's there. It has to be Wednesday night. So
we will figure it out. We will figure it out, everybody. But if you have any show ideas, let us know.
Every time you die and Sea of Thieves, eat a piece of cheese. That's gaming, Patrick. Come on, man. We said it doesn't have to be gaming only. Stop doing the easy cop-outs. But I do like that. Like, but every time you die in a game, do something. I like that idea. I would be eating a lot of cheese. We'll call it cheese, sure. Eating cheese, yeah, right.
All right. Well, there we have it. Let us know any ideas that you got.
A cheese shot. Oh, sea of cheese. Shout out to Primus. A cheese shot. Oh, like fondue shot of cheese. Oh, that sounds delicious. Or beer cheese. Oh man, I get those packs of pretzels with beer cheese, and then I like when there's always leftover cheese. So you know, you're just like drinking the cheese. It's great.
CO cheese indeed.
CO cheese.
Oh, okay.
And once again, my bladder's acting up, so continue, and I'll just have you two on.
Okay. Yeah, no, like I said, we're just open to any ideas that anyone has. Like I said, we have a week to figure stuff out, and it's going to be smaller than what we're used to, but as Chris mentioned way earlier, it's a new audience, and so it's just part of it's just building it up here and building all this up.
I like that. I like that suggestion. Mr. Retro says, "Do a hoedown about cheese. Whose line is in it anyway?" Style.
I think Patrick
Back
has a
on
story
Mama's
to tell here.
farm, you know what we do. Eat cheese all day. No, I can't do it.
Yeah, something going on there. Go on.
Me and my crew. All the different kinds that we would like to eat.
Oh dear. Well, that's
all the
something.
kinds of cheese except the kind that smells like feet.
I really, 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 really like cheese with meat. Dun, 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 dun. Down a Red Shirts Remastered story. Jesus. Avoid Cracker Barrel cheese. Boy. So Spencer,
All right.
what's next?
Yeah, next up, we got this for going on with the gaming, as today is our special gaming episode.
Folks, that could have been the title of this episode, but if I was lazy, and I almost was, because Spencer gave me that title, and I said sure, and I was like, no, wait a minute, what am I?
Wait
doing?
a minute.
What am I, an orc?
Anyway, so also in the land of gaming today, we had a special, a long rumored Nintendo Direct, but instead not in the form of regular Nintendo Direct. We have a lot of discussion last episode, or the one before, I think it was last episode, about why that could be, a whole rundown of it is that it's Nintendo is slowing down for their next console. So here we have a partner direct, essentially, is why it's not a full Nintendo Direct, and there's different rumors for when the next console could be revealed or being launched. Like, newest rumor is now that it will be launched early next year, which makes sense given when the Switch launched, as well as now we have a couple conflicting rumors for when it'll be revealed. Will it be revealed next month? Will it be revealed in June? Who knows when it'll be revealed, but it's going to be revealed sometime this year, and so we'll see. And so, but yeah, the point is here though is that we got this little Nintendo Direct partner showcase. There is definitely, I think, while it's not the kind of Nintendo Direct everybody wanted, and I had really low expectations for it, I think there is like a couple interesting things here and there. I mean, it's a slow year for the Switch as it's dying down, right? That's the thing with it. We know there's a few big Switch games coming, two of them being like remasters, and they're just slowing down for the Switch 2 as their next big main games, other than maybe I think Metroid Prime 4 is going to be on both consoles, but other than that, what we have new game wise out of Nintendo, it's almost all over. It's just a few titles left, and so mid direct wasn't expected. Yeah, I mean, I agree though. It was very much in the middle, and so yeah, lots of games here, and so before we get into the games, is there anything you have to say about it, Gio?
I don't think so. I mean, beyond actually talking about the games.
Sure, absolutely. Well, they'll be shown here in just a moment, but we do have, as we were talking about earlier, it began with showing off Grounded. We'll just go through a lot of these really quick, because kind of a lot of them are like things we don't talk about. We already talked about Grounded, but like, hey, here it is on Switch. You can tell it doesn't look as good on the Switch, but it's what you expect, right? Cool to see it on the Switch though, reach more players. And as Chris was talking earlier, I think it'll have a good home on the Switch. We got other stuff. We got an Ender Magnolia Bloom in the Mist. It doesn't seem bad, but it's probably not one I'll touch. We got a ranger, a role puzzling adventure.
That looks pretty cool to me.
It does look really cool, actually. The whole idea that the floors are tiles that you shift around and can shift around where different objects are and how you get around it. It seems like a cool puzzler. Shout out to indie puzzlers. There's so many cool ones. Anyway, we got another trailer for Unicorn Overlord, which comes out next month, and they've been showing this at a lot of directs. If you've watched any direct recently, you know what this game is.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Yeah.
I really am happy to see. I want to see more games with high definition 2D graphics like that.
Yeah,
it's something
agreed.
that
It's
I've
a
been
great
wanting
style.
for years and years. And you don't just see too many games like that nowadays. It's understandably, it's a lot of 3D stuff. But we have the abilities now with the memory for these huge high definition graphics, and that's something I want to see more of. Yeah, demo available today as well, so that's
awesome.
That's exciting.
Yeah, very much so. Next game I think is a interesting one. Well, it's not one I'll play, but it's Monster Hunter Stories. What's interesting about that is they did a second one on the Switch. But this is the first one that was originally a 3DS game that came out actually near the end of its life cycle. So it didn't get a lot of love, but obviously it did, I guess, well enough to warrant a sequel. That I think people liked. I think it was solid. And so it's good to see that the first one now makes its way on the Switch. So you can now get the complete experience now on the Switch. Next one's a big one.
Yeah, this one's huge.
I was expecting this game to come back. Of Epic Mickey Rebrush, the first Epic Mickey game, the one that everyone loves. It's coming back. Epic Mickey, that's so cool. Epic Mickey's back, guys. Griffin saying that the OG Monster Hunter story is really fun. That's cool. And so, but yeah, Epic Mickey's back. We got more Shin Megami Tensei 5. Yeah, that's just a big series right there. That's a whole can of worms. That's like one of those series that like Persona's a whole can of worms right there. So, next game is it was a nice surprise. I don't think I'll buy it unless other people are wanting to. But they are having the Battlefront Classic Collection, Battlefront 1 and 2 being released now on all modern consoles, not just the Switch here, which is freaking awesome because Battlefront 2. Remains to this day, I will fight anybody. Remains to this day the best Star Wars game.
Absolutely. 100%.
Best Star Wars game.
100%.
And so
I played it on original Xbox back in the day.
It was one of the very first games, if not the actually I think it was the very first game I bought on my PS2. And so and then I got it again through like did I get it again? I might have gotten it again through Games with Gold once, and then I've had it on Steam, and
Steam we've modded it, and then
it's so much fun with the mods. But
anyway,
it's so much fun. Great to see on modern platforms it's coming to as well, with having the full 64 online multiplayer there as well. So very cool. Next game, this one actually sold me because we only got a cinematic trailer before, but now we have a gameplay trailer. For South Park Snow Day, and that looks like so much fun right there. So much fun.
It looks like character customization. There's it's multiplayer.
The toilet paper is great. That sold me. As soon as I saw the toilet paper, I was sold.
Let's see here. We got a Sword Art Online game. Gundam Breaking 4, like that's what I was talking about. Like this looks like a solid Gundam game.
It does. I saw that. I was interested as soon as I saw the trailer.
We got to do Super Monkey Ball, guys. Monkey Ball with a lot of balls.
Been a while for Monkey Ball, hasn't it? Like it's
yeah.
I see what you did there. That kind of might be bigger news than it seems. I haven't been following the series. I know
they did a re-release recently of like a lot of levels in one game, like a few years ago, and I got that, and that was pretty fun. But like this it seems like a completely new Monkey Ball game that with also now online compatibility. and like local races and stuff, and that just looks like so much fun, right? I mean, Monkey Ball is just fun. It's a frustratingly fun kind of game. Because the when you get to physics is frustrating sometimes. Just long story short, World of Goo 2 was originally a Wii game. So now here's its sequel here, more Goo, lots of more Goo to mess with. Not gonna touch that anymore. For Patrick's most anticipated game here is Fantasy Life I, the girl who steals time. A special little game here where I don't know, seems to combine a lot of ideas. Doesn't actually look that bad,
a fan of this?
Yeah, Patrick absolutely cannot wait for this.
Farm Sims
it's a game about crashing.
Farm Sims.
Yeah, this is Patrick's game that he cannot wait for right there. So
it's about crashing, right?
Anyway, next game is coming to Game Pass. Next game's coming to Game Pass day one, but to see a new trailer for it's awesome because it's another Crab's Treasure, where it's a Souls-like game where you play as a crab. All right, I don't know what more you want in the game.
Yeah, it looks
awesome. And so it looks so much fun. You can swap your different shells.
They give you different powers.
Yeah, they give you different powers. All these different bosses, and it's such a cute art style for a Souls game. I love it though. Like the whole setting and idea of it, I think is great. I'm really looking forward to this. And well, the game, I think the first ever game trailer for this game debuted on Nintendo Direct Indie Showcase. It is now also coming to Game Pass. So I know a lot of us here being Xbox people, you can play it there day one. And we have this release date of April 25th, which is very exciting. This next game I think looks like a lot of fun. I want to check it out sometime, called Penny's Big Breakaway. It looks like a really fun platformer. I love me a good platformer, and this is done by the Sonic Mania team, so that's pretty good. Those are really good people over there because Sonic Mania was great. Well, this does look like a completely different kind of game. It still looks great,
and it's already out.
It's already out. One of the shadow drops. We got a few different shadow drops today, which is awesome. And so that was one of them. Next shadow drop was a DLC for the Switch sensation of Suika, where
it's like Fruit Tetris.
It looks like a solid little game,
like Fruit Tetris, or Fruit Dr. Mario. More like it, I guess, would be a better.
I'm trying to think of what you'd call it. Oh, it reminds me of that fruit game of the it was a phone game that sort of kind of like
Fruit Ninja.
Not Fruit Ninja. It's the idea of like combining
Fruit
blocks
Match
to form numbers. 2048.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, that's getting multiplayer now out today. Local multiplayer, online later. Pepper Grinder, a little fun Devolver digital game, looks pretty fun there. It had a demo on the Steam Fest, but now here it has another demo out now on Switch, and it'll be out next month for its full release on all platforms. Okay, next game is by Game Freak, and this lab looks like a lot of fun. We're combining like horse racing with solitaire. It's a good game from what I hear because it's been released before, but now this is its first time on Switch, and so and it's a budget title of $15. So who's telling me that you wouldn't play this for $15? Come on!
And look, the ponies are on fire.
Right? And it has online too. So what more do you want?
Oh, you can play online against each other?
Yeah, it has online now too.
Oh my.
So it looks like you're getting like breeding the horses, like that's like the whole thing.
And then you take your horses online and race against people.
So it's like taking kind of that Pokemon element.
That's awesome. Yeah. We're getting this. Okay. Let's get added to the when's it available?
So here we have this tutorial level. It came out today, $15.
Another shadow drop.
$15, little man.
Put that shit in my hand. If that money you don't show, then you owe me, that jungle love.
So we got a lot of different games here in the little sizzle reel. So here we got Snufkin Melody of Moomin Valley. My bad. Tales of Kanzaru Zao.
Which
That was a little game
yeah.
that we saw. It is
Yeah, we saw
okay.
that at the Game Awards.
Yeah,
It was
because
the
it's like a little
football
passion
player
project.
who
It's a very budget friendly. It's the
yeah.
person who played the Origins dude, Origins Assassin.
Oh yeah, that's
Assassin's
right.
Creed. Let's see here, a Demon Slayer game, which I don't know, looks interesting for a Demon Slayer game because it's not what you'd expect.
No.
Kingdom Come Deliverance coming to Switch here.
Yeah,
that's a
pretty
big
cool.
one.
The Royal Edition with all the DLC.
The new Contra game.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's better than the last one, but yeah, it's also Contra.
Yeah, I would like it to be good, but the track record hasn't been great the last however many games.
Yeah.
Then here's the official announcement for Pentiment.
Another Obsidian game.
Yeah. And then we got two big last reveals. One of them being the first of the two being the last big shadow drop. Being new rare games. Speaking of rare rare games coming to Switch Online, including
Battletoads, Battle Maniacs, Killer Instinct, Snake Rattle and Roll, Blast Core, and RC Pro-Am.
Nice.
There you go. All today. I just updated mine, so they're all there now.
Nice.
And then they have one more game, which is at first I thought it was a very interesting game, and I think if they would have added more context to this game at the beginning, and I'll get to why in a moment here, it would have made this final reveal go better. Because felt when I first watched this, I was like, this is an odd game to end on. You know, you have this ocean game, and it reveals the title pretty early on called Endless Ocean Luminous.
Yeah, this is a sequel, isn't it?
Yeah. The first game was a Wii game.
Yeah.
So it's actually an unknown like Nintendo property that like nobody talks about, and it's back now for a sequel here
with multiplayer.
And multiplayer up to, was it 30 players?
32? 30, yeah, 30. Yep.
Yeah, up to 30 players. And so I didn't realize that this was like an already established IP that they're kind of just bringing back. I thought because at first when I watched this game, I was like, or watched this direct, I was like, this is such a weird game to end on. Like, this doesn't look bad, but like, I wouldn't think to this be the game to end on. But this is like Nintendo's kind of like, I guess, biggest game, since it's like that they're directly connected to, because that first one was on Wii, and now we're having a sequel now on the Switch, and so it's really cool to see something obscure be brought back like that.
Yeah, it seems like what sets this one apart is the online functionality and the getting.
Yes.
What did they say? Up to like 30 players.
30
together?
players.
Yes. Like that's crazy. Which I don't know how that's gonna feel when you're actually in it, but that's what they're going for. Clearly, is like a big multiplayer experience going underwater with your friends.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, that's it. I know a lot of people were left very underwhelmed with this. I already had like really low expectations, but I thought
it was fine. Yeah.
I thought it was fun too. Like, I saw a couple games here that'd be like, yeah, that'd be cool to get. Nothing that I needed. I think the big thing of why people weren't happy with it, because there wasn't that one game. I think we can all agree on that. There wasn't that one game that was like, oh my god, we need it now. You know? And so...
Yeah. Well, because we talked about the direct on the last episode or before that, and
speculation for it. Yeah,
I don't think any of the things we speculated showed up. If I could, off the top of my head, anyway. So it's like when you have your expectations set already, you know, then it's like we kind of set ourselves up for disappointment. In a way.
Yeah, they intentionally said in this that its games come in the first half, although one of them had like an October or September release date. Other than that, everything else is just like either an unnamed date or fits in that first half of the year. And so, I don't know. I think it's just all part of Nintendo's having a slower. This is going to be the Switch's, I think, like weakest year, right? Because it's them slowing down for the Switch 2, essentially, is what it is. Because this next Nintendo console is going to be what the 3DS was to the DS. How it's going to improve upon it, who knows? But it's the same. That's the idea of what their new console is going for. So we'll see. But I think overall though, like there's definitely a few games that looked cool, like that definitely has me interested. Like there's a couple of games that like that Penny's Big Breakaway game that looks like an excellent platformer. I love me a good platformer. Listen, if you all got that Ocean game, I'll play that Ocean game. Okay, the horse game, $15 for that. Sign me up, you know. And so I think I had fun. I had some fun little things in there. And the other thing too is like, you know, I wasn't expecting any big crazy reveals either because it's almost all those games are stuff that we've seen before anyway, and so and that's just kind of how a lot of these showcases go on for. It's not necessarily announcements, but it's more of here's updates on games, you know, just because of how the industry is more of nowadays as well. And I think the reason why people expect it more from directs is because Nintendo's always holds their cards always a lot closer to them than the other companies do. So, you know, you have your couple exceptions here and there, but unlike other companies, they hold their stuff really close. And so usually a lot of rumors for when stuff gets leaked or isn't usually until like very close to a direct. And by then that's usually like a game that's very like close to release. Like in the next quarter of the year or something like that. Just how Nintendo is. So oh yes, and Patrick also gave us a good reminder that don't forget we have a Pokemon Presents next week on is it the 29th or 27th, something like that. Let's know the date. And so we have that, and I have very low expectations for that because they've been boring. There's a interesting thing about that is in one of their YouTube adverts for it, they have, you know how there's games listed below like certain thing like YouTube videos, and their advert for the Pokemon Presents, they had Pokemon Gold and Silver listed underneath it. So people have been like, what incarnation is it going to come back? Which will be very interesting. February 27th, 9 a.m. Eastern. Okay, I knew it was 27th or 29th. I knew it was one of those two, Patrick. At 9 a.m. But yeah, I'll just scroll through that when I wake up. Because the big thing people want that they're not giving us is the classic games on Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, Switch Online, and like those are the biggest Game Boy and Game Boy Advance online games. So like once you give those to us, that would be so amazing. Yeah. Griffin told me this rumor, I think it was yesterday, that what he's heard is that the Gold and Silver is going to be a Let's Go style game, but it's Gold and Silver. Which if that's it, that's like okay, that's the option I give no craps about at all, because Let's Go, while I think it's a cool entry place for newer fans, it's very kiddie. I know Pokemon's like I say that in a way as if Pokemon's not a kid franchise, but I say that in the way to where part of the reason why Pokemon's so big is that anyone from all ages can enjoy it. But if something's super kiddie, then I think that, you know, that cuts part of people's interest for it, and I tried it. So, well, yeah, Patrick, you know, last Pokemon Presents, they were celebrating 30 years of Pokemon. Perfect way to freaking drop at least the first original 3 games. Speaking of a new Pokemon game, we need to make it different compared to. Well, that's the big thing too, right? Is I think that's such a huge reason of why Power World blew up is because people love Pokemon and want to see it utilized in more ways, right? The thing about Scarlet and Violet is while I hear the core mechanics good, it just looks bad and has a lot of bugs. And so it's definitely, I think, a step in the right direction, but it shows that Game Freak and Nintendo's philosophy with Pokemon needs to evolve.
Yeah.
And so because their yearly Pokemon games aren't going to cut it anymore.
Yeah. No, and Patrick
how
says
development is nowadays.
Yeah, here's a 30 years of Pokemon, here's a buggy game with lower graphics. No, it's more like, hey, we're the largest franchise ever selling franchise ever. Largest ever. And
yeah, that's the thing.
And they
it's literally
give shitty games.
Slap that Pokemon logo on anything and it'll sell. And it'll have its fans, right? The Pokemon fans I know, they still enjoyed the game because you still had the core gameplay there, but it definitely did turn off a lot. I was excited for it until I saw how it turned out. All right. And then I'm like, okay, I'm not wasting my time with this, even though I love the ideas behind the game. So, yeah.
Yeah, those ones, if I'm not mistaken, if it's the game I'm thinking of, it literally was just the engine from the 3DS game, and they just took that and put that on the Switch.
I'm not sure if that's how it looked. I mean, I could understand
One of
that
them they did that
graphically.
for. I don't know if it was Scarlet and Violet, but
I mean, they had a really good foundation, I thought, with Sword and Shield. Those were
maybe
really good.
that's what I was thinking of. But in any case, I think you're right on the money of the fact that it's like when you're that successful and you're that popular, it's like you don't really have to try as hard. It's the money is kind of almost guaranteed, and that's not a good thing, but that's just why would they bother to do more than they have to if they're going to make the same amount of money, right? That's from their perspective. It's not a good mentality to have, but I think that's what what their mentality is.
Yeah. Mr. Retro said a Pokemon MMO would blow people's minds away and probably pass most MMOs. Yeah, it would blow up. I think that's a big reason. While it's an indie game, it still does good numbers.
There's sort of
game.
Isn't there? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Temtem,
isn't there sort of a
Temtem
is sort of a Pokemon MMO, which we haven't tried yet. Another game we have to try.
Well, that's the thing, though, Patrick. That's the thing, though. Patrick says it's like Star Wars. You hurt the fans enough, it'll affect sales. Game Freak will have to course correct if enough. The core audience don't buy the next game, they'll understand. Here's your problem: Scarlet and Violet was the biggest selling Pokemon game on the Switch at launch. I don't know about the total numbers now, but it broke their record on Switch for Pokemon, and so it's not so far it's not hurting them.
Yeah, that's like again, Patrick says it's the sad truth. That's the thing that's sad about it. It would take a really huge, like, look at what's happening with. He mentioned Star Wars, like what's happening with Disney. It's taking them a huge amount of losses, millions upon millions of dollars, for them to course correct at all. So, just as an example, it takes companies, they have to lose a lot of money before they stop doing what is comfortable for them, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I watched an in-depth review on Scarlet and Violet when it came out, and it's just one of those things where I could look at it and be like, that is so crappily made and rushed. You could just tell it, because it never it just didn't have the time to develop like it needs. And I think Game Freak needs to adjust, just like Call of Duty. Call of Duty has the exact same problem. They don't need yearly releases anymore. They need to give at least 2 years now, I think. Because, like they have a similar idea where they're like, they have different divisions for different games with different ones, right? Like, I don't have any problem with having a Let's Go game. It's just not what I want. But, like, having your main and then you could have your main spin-off game, it works. But you need to give more time to let things grow. No, it is not, Patrick. They are definitely not.
They're still doing a yearly. They're still, but the difference is, though, I think putting it on Game Pass. That's how you can kind of fix people not griping over yearly releases. Well, I do agree they still needed 2 years.
Part of it, problem for this one at least, I don't know about the one after, is that at least this one for this year would be too far in development.
It was, yeah, absolutely.
To stop it.
Yeah.
And maybe even the next one. It depends on how far along that they are in the process. It just depends.
I'd say that it's probably at this point too late in development of the next one as well. I'd say. Because
that's what I'd imagine.
Yeah, because they're closed. They're basically doing post-production of it right now, and then you're going to start seeing all the marketing for it soon in the next couple of months, probably June. Then we'll start seeing the marketing for it, and so, but yeah, it's probably already too late for the next one as well. I agree. So we might see one 24, 25, then 27, and then 27, 28, 29, 30 is the 10-year deal. No, 30, and then the 31, 32, 33 will be the 10-year deal. No, 32. They signed those deals in 2022, didn't they? Those 10-year deals with those companies? Or was it at the beginning of 2023?
I thought it would have been more 2023.
Okay. So 3033 is when those 10-year deals in COD might
I could be
just
wrong,
be.
but
But by that point, I can't. And don't call
Here's
me a
the thing,
hater.
though,
I
is-
play COD. I play COD, especially like Amber and I bought COD, and I play like multiplayer a little bit. I don't play the campaign anymore, but I only play like one game mode in it, gunfight, and it's 2v2, and that's all I really like to play in it. I'd play other modes if I got enough people who are like, yeah, come on, man, play, come on, play. Like, I'm not gonna say no, but I'm hoping that by 2033, by 2033, Call of Duty will be dead. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping we'll be moved on to a newer, better shooter franchise. What that is, who knows? 3033, the year there's still Chris.
So yeah, we'll see. It's just hard to say though too of like how things are going to look then as well. You know, it'll be very interesting because gaming seems to change for better or worse somehow with each generation. So we'll see. It's an ever evolving space that you have to be on your toes for. So who knows what'll happen? Especially with Xbox putting games out on other platforms now too. So
Speaking of, we got another trailer today for one of those games going to PlayStation. What game is that, Spencer? Game that you've played and beaten.
the game I've played and beaten.
I'm pretty sure.
I have not beaten that.
Oh, you
game,
didn't beat it. You played it. You played.
I beat the first level.
Sorry,
I beat the first level. I need to go back to it.
That's right. That's right.
I beat the first level.
You beat.
It's one of those games I picked it up once and I was like, "This is really cool," and then I just never touched it. And that's Hi-Fi Rush. It's awesome. Coming to. So this was something I was like, this is a game that would feel perfect on the Switch, and I was like kind of surprised to actually not see it at that direct. But then I did a little bit of digging and found, it's a next gen only game, only on Series X and PC. So no Xbox One is what I'm getting to here. And so it makes sense why it is now only releasing on PS5. And we talked about this earlier. As well as the next game. That next game is pretty big too.
March 19th on PlayStation 5.
March 19th. Look at that. The next game is late April. And that's Sea of Thieves coming to PlayStation, and that one I'm very excited for as well. Just because it's like it's a game that we've enjoyed playing, and I really want to get a couple of my PlayStation friends into Sea of Thieves. So I'm like very excited for this to come to PS5, so I could get them into it. Because they're not Xbox people, they don't really intend on getting Xboxes.
They don't understand the joy of killing a megalodon or a skelly ship or a real person ship.
It's so exciting to have that here though. So gonna be awesome to for them to experience that.
I saw so many fresh meat comments around the PS5 Sea of Thieves announcement. Oh jeez.
Yeah,
well, this is why you have Safer Seas. It's a really good thing that they have Safer Seas now.
Agreed.
They were saying the same thing about Elden Ring when the DLC comes out. You're gonna get people have been playing the game for like 2 years, then some newbie comes in to try out the new DLC or whatever.
Oh, this looks cool. There goes his head. It's like those videos of people who do the skits that they're actually in the game. It was great. I don't know if you've ever seen Viva La Dirt League is one of the ones that would do that, and they would do like Skyrim. They've done Elden Ring, WoW, Elder Scrolls on like Diablo. They've done some really, really good ones of where they do some like crazy situations that would really happen in those games, but kind of over the top. So I, yeah. Someone goes.
So, yeah. So we have other game stuff. I think we should just try to go through these
Yeah, quickly. I'm not even gonna show
very
it.
quickly.
Just go through. The only thing I'll show some stuff, like if it's worth it.
Sure.
So yesterday, IGN FanFest games stuff dropped. The first game they did like a horror presentation. It was interesting. The first game was another Outlast game.
Outlast Trials. Oh God, I will never touch it. I will never touch an
I
Outlast
will
game.
make
Nobody
sure
will
he
ever make me.
does. I will make you.
No,
I'm
you
gonna
will
make
make
you.
me
I'm
not.
gonna buy you Trials when it comes out. And
Oh
we're gonna
God.
play that shit at
Oh
Halloween.
God. Oh God. No. I
Yeah,
refuse.
we're gonna stream.
I absolutely
But we're gonna
refuse.
stream it. It's entertainment, man, for
I
the people.
refuse.
For the people. For the people.
I'm selfish. I prefer my own sanity.
So, but then the next game he will play. Now, I'm sorry,
Patrick, shut up!
Wait.
Shut up, Patrick. Anyway,
disclaimer: if you're scared of clowns, look away, because Killer Clowns from Outer Space looks fantastic and looks like so much fun.
Matthew's trying to put me in a very like hard corner. Like he's trying to put me between like a rock and a hard.
I want to just show what the
rock
first. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. The first, like, they're like, you can kill a clown as a killer. The clown can kill you in many different ways. And like, here, like, watch this, folks. This is just crazy. Here, like this. Splat. Like, this is just fantastic. Like, it's just so silly. Like, and it's just got this, like, Dead by Daylight meets Killer Clowns from Outer Space, but meets, I don't even know what else, because it's just goofy. It's Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Patrick's like, that's just a Mortal Kombat fatality.
And oh man, look at that's creepy. But pre-order starting February 21st, coming June 4th this year. Very excited to check that game out. That'll be one I might pick up day one.
Does look fun. The game after is a little interesting. But yeah. Oh, the game after that one was awesome though. That's the one that you wishlisted.
Yeah, what's the one after it though? What is
the
this?
Escape room one?
Oh, that's the no. The one.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, it's like a card game, but a roguelike.
Harvest Hunt.
Harvest Hunt. That's right.
So
you gotta be
there's
careful
that.
saying that name.
Say it, Gio, really fast.
I should say it really fast. It's
say it really fast, Spencer.
Good.
Harvest Hunt.
You gotta enunciate on that one.
Harvest Hunt.
Oh God, Patrick! No, get out of here.
Oh no, Harvestella. Oh Jesus.
You heard Harvest, and that's the first thing that comes to mind.
So the next game is called hashtag Blood, and it's really cool. Like it's what's really funny. Hold on, let me show this. What it says in the beginning. Hold on, damn it, I went too far. There it is. It says what you're about to watch is not a cartoon, but a hand-drawn video game. I love that they add that. And here, they're right. Like you watch this, and you're like, "Whoa, is this a cartoon?"
Well, no, because they just told you.
I know. Thanks, Gio. But like, yeah. And it's about this little girl and her dad. Her dad's like the head of some like tech company, or the head of this office of this tech company. And I have a
that art
feeling
style looks really
like
familiar.
the bad guy is the head of the owner of the tech company, you know? But like it just looks silly and fun, and it's got puzzles, and it's like, what does she have, a field hockey stick or something? Like it just looks like silly fun. And yeah, just definitely excited for hashtag Blood.
Yeah, it reminds me of that art style of like the Dexter's Lab, like Powerpuff
Yeah.
Girls, Timmy Turner, whatever his show was.
Oh,
Fairly Odd Parents.
Thank you.
Yes.
Such a good show.
Yeah. So, yeah, what do you think about that? You thought you had some thoughts on that game, didn't you, Spencer?
It looks awesome. I need to wishlist it. Looks so much fun.
The next game was very strange. It was like a horror game, but the horror aspect was that your landlord was also a witch. And she wanted her rent. And like you're dealing with like the haunted apartment complex, and a witch. And yeah, it just looks very, very like, I'm good.
At first, I was like, this is kind of a cool idea, and then I was watching it more. I'm like, no, this would, even though it's like the graphics aren't particularly that great, it would still fuck with me.
Here, yeah,
it would still fuck with me.
I'll show you the graphics, folks. Let's see if I can find a good. There we go. Here's a good. Like it looks like, yeah, it looks terrible.
It still does enough though to where it's like the ideas of it would fuck with me. All right, like
sure. But here it's called Janet de Mornay is a slumlord and a witch. That's the name of the game.
It's definitely kind of leading you in a certain direction there. Is how they want you to feel about that person.
So then there was some weird like dark web streamer where it felt like kind of like your computer was hacked and you were forced to do a whole bunch of shit that would eventually kill you, and you have to like stream your death.
That would also probably freak me the fuck out.
Or yeah, I didn't understand.
I'm good.
Yeah, that's just yeah. We're gonna go on. We're gonna move on to the next one. Oh, there's a cool game coming out called Still Wakes the Deep. There was a little trailer they showed at the beginning, right? Of that, right? Yeah. Hold on here.
Did they?
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing a trailer for it.
Yeah, it's like a little tease. It's just like quickly shows.
Oh, that. Yes, never mind.
And so then I can pause it.
I feel like it's stuff we've seen before, but
but really cool. Like
we've seen
single player. Think like Alien Isolation, but on an oil rig.
I'm good. Well, I'd play Alien if it was good because
I think so.
It's Alien.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I'm good.
You good on the oil rig? And then they give us a whole. Yeah, they gave us a whole like background on designing it, which is cool. You actually learned something about game design in that interview, because I did at least. It was that you should always add your lighting to your block, even to your like rough draft world, your block world, so that you can see what it all looks like in lighting, and that can help you decide, make better decisions on what you want to make the world look like. And your block world, folks, is like what basically your world is made of blocks instead of the actual assets.
I've never thought about that, but that makes a lot of sense.
It does, doesn't it? Like you want to make sure that your lighting is very important. Let's see here. What was next? I think what's the comment? What are you laughing about?
Just Griffin comes in and he's just like, what? Anyway. And then we got the last game looks cool though. If I was actually play, well, I play Blood, but if I was to play the game, I'd also
Outbreak Island. It looks really cool. It's single player though. This is the kind of game I wish they would add multiplayer to. It looks like, and it feels like it would be great as like you and your buddies trapped on this island. It would work so well as a multiplayer game. So, little disappointed, but looks cool for sure. Like first person shooter survival with guns and shit. Like yeah.
You can customize your truck. You see, you go driving around.
Yeah, you can customize your truck. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of silly. Yeah. But yeah, that was yesterday's presentation. Today, let's see what they start with.
The first one was very interesting.
Oh, the first one, I'm playing this. I want to show people this because Sean Bean, everyone loves Sean Bean. Who doesn't love Sean Bean? You can't not love Sean Bean. I don't even care. We're not monetized. I'm playing this with sound.
Is he gonna die at the end of this?
Well, yeah. Yeah, you know, shut the fuck up.
Assassination.
But this is gonna be free to play, folks.
Your target is Mark Faber, also known
Are
as
you
the
gonna stream
Undying,
this?
a disgraced
Yeah, I'm
former
showing it.
MI5 operative currently working.
No.
Oh
I can
yeah, I'll
this when
stream
comes
it.
out.
Yeah,
Confirmed
I'll stream it
killed
when
by
it's
agents more than a dozen times. On every occasion, he's managed to come
yeah,
back from the dead.
It'll be free to play for everyone for a limited time, I think. And it's like an episode. This is Sean Bean plays this guy called the Undying, and it's like he gets killed, but every time he comes back, and now you gotta kill him as Agent 47.
That's fucking hilarious.
So it's perfect if they got Sean Bean for it, isn't it?
Oh my god.
It's so fucking perfect. It's gonna be great. March 22nd to April
be
21st.
entirely
Perfect.
honest,
I
will
thought you were
definitely play
joking
that.
when
No.
you started saying that.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
That's
god.
what the
I
guys.
can't
Yeah,
believe
the
that.
guys. Yeah. So I'm really.
So it's
really
a
excited
Hitman
for that.
game. Cool.
Yeah. Well, World of Assassination is already a free thing. It's got like episodes you can buy and shit like that. So
Matthew says playing with his strengths.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god.
Do you put Sean Bean in your chili? Stop, Patrick.
Yeah, it was.
I don't even.
Yeah.
That was rough.
I'm not
No.
entertaining that one.
Yeah. Then we had a very
I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm looking forward to this.
All right, look, I'll show some of the screen of it because it's
It
got
looks
cool
fun.
graphics too. I'll take the art style.
It's Akira Toriyama.
I know.
Come on.
Oh,
I'm not a
Sandland.
huge,
Yeah. Yeah, so it's
Dragon
like
Ball
the-
guy, So like,
Well, we need to see more gameplay of like what this actual game entails, right? And I think that's kinda what
It
they
shows
were-
a lot here, and it
Mhm.
looks fun.
Yeah, that's what they were showing with this trailer. So
Well, it's not
I
just a
think,
trailer. It's a long, in-depth. It's
Yeah,
minutes
sorry.
long. So definitely go if you are interested. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, go look at this for sure. And if you're this kind of art style game and open world games, go check it out. Sure. For me, it's cool, but I won't play it because I don't have anything invested in the franchise or the genre really.
Well, I don't care much for the franchise. Well, I think that's the thing is it's a franchise that they're kind of bringing back in two ways, which is really cool. Because they were talking about at the beginning of it that they're also bringing like an anime form later this year, which is really cool. Because it's kind of just like one of his random like things that he sort of just made and then didn't do much with it. And they talked about it in the thing because he was like, I hate suck and drug tanks. So it was funny when they talked about that. And so it seems fun though, at least the game, and maybe I'll check out the anime if it's any good.
yeah, I also
'cause it
don't think
seems fun.
they're particularly marketing it towards people. Like they're not going to be like, "Hey, remember Sandland?" Like I don't think anybody
Yeah.
knows what the hell that is. I think it's a thing where they're trying to do something else, whether it's bring it to a new audience or just use that property. You said they're doing more with the franchise, so that's something I hadn't considered. Like I thought they were just wanting to use that IP for this game.
No,
more
it's,
than
he's
anything,
involved in it. No, he's involved in everything. Yeah.
But I think when you look at stuff like Blue Dragon as an example, where that
Great
I don't know
game.
how involved he really was involved in that beyond the art, but I think he can do good collaborations with his art style and in an actual game you would want to play. But yeah, it remains to be seen if this is going to be something like that or not.
Yep. Then next, we got Dave the Diver coming to PlayStation in April. But the big thing that I'm excited about, because I've had my eye on Dave the Diver for a while, as a game that I wanted to get and on Steam, and this is just going to put it over the edge. And we saw a tease for this at the PlayStation showcase.
It was a state of play. Yes,
State of play.
right?
Yep, the state of play. Thank you. But we got a little more this time of what we're gonna get with the Gojira DLC.
Sorry, I just love
Gojira.
the music.
Yeah, I'm not. I have it muted, so
I know. I
for
just
this,
love Godzilla. That classic theme's amazing.
Yeah, and then look at this. You gotta run from Godzilla, and then run from giant kaiju freaking crabs. Like it's just it's a lobster. Sorry, it's not a crab. It's a lobster. I forgot. It's a lobster. Like you'll see the tail. It's a lobster. Or just
it's something.
It's something.
It's something you don't want to fuck with.
Crayfish or something. Like you don't want to mess with it. But yeah, that definitely is coming in May. So I think in May I will be picking up Dave the Diver.
I may have to as well. Something else. The next game for that is one. Next game after is one of the ones I'm looking forward to most.
Oh yes. Do talk about this one because my.
Oh my gosh. Well. For starters, it's like what this game. Well, I don't even know the best way to introduce it. I mean, this trailer just shows it's a 2D game here. At least that's what you think, right? Because you're in this book,
Where is it?
and then
There we go.
And then the character then just pops out of the book, and so it looks like such a cool way to combine different kinds of, like, such a clever way to combine different things together, different kinds of games together. And so you kind of just see a little bit of a demo here of how you can interact with different things, to interact with different storybook pages here. Other trailers have shown all these other cool ways how you get to interact with the world. It looks like a great, fun game. Such a cool.
Looks like a boob tree over there.
Okay.
Just thought that needed to be pointed out.
Okay, Gio. Whatever you say. Anyway, it just seems really cool with like how you're able to interact. As you sort of see here, just being able to go in and out the book, the way how you can interact with it. It's so cool. It kind of reminds me of, if you remember Mario Odyssey, they had a couple segments where you turned into a 2D Mario and you went across the walls. It's like, it looks like to me in this game, they're like, okay, that's an awesome idea. What if we made this into a full-on game, but made it to where you can interact with it in different ways like that, It seems awesome. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what they do, just because it looks so creative, and I can't wait to see the full extent of the creativity that this will go to.
Yeah, agreed. I think I like the whole idea of the book, and I'm a sucker for literary stuff. Speaking of coming soon, some gameplay of a game called Bookwalker. Anyway, just a little plug right there. But next game, this game is called The Plucky Squire, by the way, and wishlist it. Does it have a release date?
Nope.
No release date.
Sadly.
Yet. No release date. 2024 is all. Coming out for everything. Except for the Xbox One and PS4. It does not look like. Now, the next game I'm excited for, I actually downloaded the demo for. This is really cool. It's called Harold Halibut. But it was the cool draw. It's like a point-and-click stylish game. But everything was made in clay. Like all the characters were made out of clay. The world obviously not, but the characters are all clay, and they scanned them into the game and then made the game. So it's got puzzles, dialogue, but definitely really cool what they did. 10 years to make this game. It took them 10 years. Definitely, there's a demo on Steam. It's 43 gigs just for the demo. So, it just it's definitely looks like a fantastic game if you're into those kind of games, or if you appreciate that kind of like that labor of love. 10 years for to get the game up and done, and putting all that work into those clay figures, and yeah. And for the demo, yes, Patrick. Slap my knee and call me Flight Simulator, said Patrick. Why don't you talk about the next game?
Next game? That's the collection, right?
Correct.
What was it called? What was that?
Meow.
Felix the Cat Collection?
Yeah. For all you old heads, here you go, Mr. Retro. Check this out. Bazam.
It looks fun.
Felix
Lots of old platformer action. So what more to say? Felix the Cat.
Felix.
I'm actually looking more forward
cat.
to the one after. I love the trailer, like animation that they used to open it, introduce it with, and
for all you gamers over 70, you'll love this. Look at Mr. Retro's face. Yeah. Oh yeah, Felix the Cat.
That sounds like
Felix
an
the Cat.
ageist comment from you in the chat, Patrick.
Yes, Patrick.
I'm gonna have to ask you to calm it down a mic before I mute you.
He'll just unmute himself.
You know what, Patrick? You were sleeping, right? Just go back to sleep. We'll see you later. Bye.
Hey, don't go that far. We need the view, but
Oh Jesus! All right, so talk about
Keep
the
it
next
in your
game.
pants, gentlemen. The next game looks cool.
It's called. It's actually very silly what it's called. Oh, I'll put it up on screen.
Ninja 5-0.
Ninja 5-0. So you're a police ninja. Basically, it's a side-scrolling like Ninja Gaiden style game. Here, I'll show you. There you go. Oh, that's Felix still. That's better. Oh wait, do they have really? There we go. Wait. There
looks
it is.
Yeah,
exactly like
so
Felix the Cat.
they like it's. What the?
Oh,
My
yeah,
mouth
that's,
is moving, but the words aren't coming out. Sorry, I had to. It's just this picture right here. I was like, is this another Double Dragon or Ninja Gaiden or? And then it was like,
It looks cool.
Ninja 5-0. I'm like, oh, you're a ninja cop. I get it now.
That's exactly the type of game they would have came out with in the late 80s or early 90s.
Absolutely, Ninja 5-0.
Ninja Cop. It's like, what do kids like? They like ninjas and they like cops. Let's just combine them together, like ninja pirates and shit like that.
So the next game, and this will be another one Mr. Retro will not be able to control his excitement for. Because
It looks pretty good.
This is Rocket Knight Collection. What, Resparked? Isn't that what it's called?
Oh shit!
Yep.
Didn't know this
Yeah.
was coming out.
I know. So this looks really
All games
cool.
collected.
All,
Yeah, it looks awesome.
All
Yeah,
the
'cause
Rocket
there
Knight
was,
games. There's tons
There was
of Rocket Knight
there was
games
Rocket
too.
Knight Adventures. There was Sparkster, and then there was a third one, I'm sure, as well. So if they're all on there, that's nice.
So Rocket Knight.
All on there.
Yeah. Rocket Knight Resparked. No release date on that either.
Looks really well done. Can't wait.
Alright. And then you're thinking of The Rocketeer, Matthew Coburn, aren't you? Oh, Kung Fury? Are you talking about what? What movie? What movie are you talking about? Huh? What the hell are you talking about?
Oh, Samurai Cop. Yeah, that's one of those
Samurai
famously bad movies.
Oh.
I think they talked about it on Red Letter Media, the best of the worst.
Yeah.
Best of the worst.
The next is a interactive documentary where you can play a bunch of old school Atari games and learn about a documentary of what's the guy's name? I forget. Hold on. Where is it? Come on. Talk while I find this, please.
I'm trying to find it as well.
They did a riff tracks on Samurai Cop. I mean,
Think.
Oh, here we go. I got it.
Yeah, Patrick, you
The
definitely
Jeff
check out
Minter
Rocket Knight when you have
story,
a chance.
Llama Soft. So it's like an interactive, like you can do you listen to the documentary, and then you can also play a bunch of the old Llama Soft games that were out on Atari and shit. So that's kind of cool. What's the next
Kinda
game?
cool. Suppose you're cool.
Next game's kind of cool. I feel like this is your kind of game, Spencer.
It didn't speak out to me that much. Well, it seemed alright. I don't know. I don't know why it did
It's
speak out to
apparently
me that much.
based on a movie, like
like a random indie movie.
Yeah. So if
I know it doesn't look
anybody's-
bad for whatever reason, though. It didn't like speak out to me, but it doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
What was it called again? Turbo Kid. It looks. I think it's Canadian because it's got Canada Media Fund. So I'm
Was the
pretty sure
movie
it's a
Jingle All the
Canadian
Way?
movie. So do you know that movie, Turbo Kid? You ever heard of
No,
that?
it doesn't ring
It's
a
from
bell.
like the
unless
apparently the
it's,
2000s, the aughts, I think.
There was one movie. Let me just look it up real quick because there was one movie I remember that if it's the one I'm thinking of, it's not the type of thing you make a game based on. I'll tell you that. No, I didn't see this. This was 2015. It says it came out.
15. Oh, okay. Yeah. Now the next trailer, everyone should be excited for this. I'm gonna play this with sound. I don't give a fuck this next one because this is hilarious.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing right here.
This is just so fucking hilarious. They're like, huh, what kind of game is this?
Imperial engines adorned in filth.
Oh, it's Power Wash Simulator meets Warhammer?
Machine spirits yearn for reawakening. Shaped
Power Wash.
The lines.
This is
The lines that are great.
Yeah.
Oh,
It is an honor to
amazing.
service these triumphant vessels. Our tool.
That's
the
some
marked and
untapped
Seneca
licensing
Arquebus,
potential.
Our
Just
adversary.
make a power wash for any.
They've made them
Any
for a bunch of
franchise.
different Back to the Future,
They have a Back to the Future pack and a SpongeBob pack.
and a
buy.
Final Fantasy.
What would you watch?
that's a free
SpongeBob?
level.
You're,
Yep.
you're already underwater.
Yes, the canticles of restoration must be performed. Purpose is true.
Listen, man, there's some dirty places underwater.
Fair enough.
So that's kind
Um,
of that's kind of yeah.
There's also a free Tomb Raider level they have as well.
Oh yeah, you can clean the mansion. That's right. That's right. I remember that.
What would be like the most satisfying thing to clean in that game?
In which one?
I'm just saying
The
that big like
DeLorean.
mech thing.
Oh,
From Warhammer,
yeah.
that's gonna be cool.
The DeLorean, I think, would be cool to clean.
Yeah,
Of
for
course.
sure. DeLorean
But I
would be
think
a
in that
really
the
good
giant mech standing tall, yeah, would be the coolest thing. I think. All right, what was next?
one. Armor doesn't shine itself.
Oh, was Flintlock?
The Flintlock, yeah.
This one I believe
It's
is
a Game
coming
Pass
to
game.
Game Pass. Yes.
Yeah,
So this game looks really cool. It's
yeah. Let me check it out.
and it's like a what would you call it? Just like a third-person action game, yeah? Is it? It's not Souls, like, is it? No, it's just third-person action, yeah.
Which one's this?
Flintlock. Dawn is Siege of Dawn or something like that. And it's a Game
It just
Pass
seems
game.
like it just looks like a solid third-person action game.
Action
Linear.
game with a cool lore, its own lore and everything. It will, like this part to me really was really accentuated, like the statue and little creature that apparently is a demon. And here they'll show a fight right here.
I've noticed all these different outfits, so I wonder if like there's
Powers.
anything to that.
Because look,
Yeah.
it looks like ice and stuff. Like look at all these different, like, what's he throw bombs and but like definitely, it's got like the counter mechanics and everything that like a Souls game could have, but like also just like a normal action game would have, where you could just hold down the button to block, like Assassin's Creed used to have.
Yeah, I think a lot of games are borrowing like multiple elements. Like they'll take what they like from
Yeah.
a Souls-like, and then what they like from an Uncharted, and what they like from an Assassin's Creed,
Exactly.
and stuff like that.
So, that's coming to Game Pass. So check that out for sure when it comes out. Let's see, did that summer. So no exact release date. Next game was Wild Bastards. What did you call me? It's from the guys that made the game Void Bastards. And it's essentially a first-person shooter tactical strategy game. So you set up your guys around the map, and then you take turns. It's still turn-based though. Spencer and I played a game like this. What was it called again? Man.
I don't remember what it's called, but keep on going.
But we played a game like this where it was like this. And it was actually really fun, and you could only move so far. So that's how it was. Like, you were like, well, if it's a first-person shooter, why can't you just move around? I thought it was no. You have like action points, and you can only move so far and do so many things as well. So kind of like role-playing games. So that's kind of like got that cool role-playing element. Definitely gonna be a fun one.
The game you're thinking of is called Research and Destroy.
That's it. Thank you. Research and Destroy. Yes. So definitely very excited to check out Void Bastards because it's kind of got this like Western theme.
Cool art style.
Yeah, very cool art style. And then Void Bastards had the same art style, and it took place and I'll have to go back and play Void Bastards. I think it's on Game Pass. If I'm not mistaken. But it takes place on a spaceship instead, so it's got the same kind of element. But the cool thing about Research and Destroy was multiplayer. I don't know if this one's going to be, because I know Void Bastards wasn't, so Wild Bastards I don't know if it would be, but then
looks single player to me.
It does, yes. The next game is a candy shooter. Literally, that's what they called it. What the hell?
I didn't know what to make out of this game. I'm going to be honest.
Like, it's so weird.
I was like, are you just shooting hearts? Like, what the hell's going on here?
What it looks like.
Bath Salts, the game.
It's called... Like, hold on, let me... Jeez, this is still going. It's called... What's it called? I can't even... Incolatus. Like,
yeah.
Huh? What?
It's just one of those games I like.
Why are you throwing that in there towards the end?
That's a game.
Like,
that's a game.
No, then the next game. I don't even want to show the next game. It's just gonna make you all feel weird. Like, it's a visual weird monster collecting RPG visual novel. Monster collecting RPG visual novel.
Right, because that's the one where it's like a really meta story.
Yeah, Dome King Cabbage is what it's called.
I like the story idea behind it.
It's weird though. So
it is
weird.
Definitely weird.
And then the next game is the next game looks really cool. The next game is called Forever Winter. And it's co-op looks like a co-op survival shooter.
I don't know. It's just a cinematic, so you couldn't really tell.
Yeah, but no, there's screenshots. I guess those screenshots are more the cinematic from the cinematic, aren't they?
I believe so. Yeah. Now the idea of it seems cool.
The idea, I believe it's going to be a co-op like survival shooter to an extent.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not going to show. It's all cinematics. So there's no point in showing any of it. And then once again, they showed Contra. And that
Fully this time.
fully this time. Yeah, but what do you do? Although this, wait,
Yeah,
let me get
co-op
to it.
tactical survival horror shooter is what they call Forever Winter,
Okay, cool.
where you and your squad must loot the dead to survive under the shadow of terrifying and gargantuan war machines looking in a never-ending conflict.
Speaking of gargantuan war machines, look at this thing in Contra. It's Terminator.
I literally was looking at that and I was like, that's freaking Terminator.
But then, like, it's
Oh, we're
funny.
getting
It's like
the-
the last two games are themed about machines, fighting machines.
Well, we're getting a... I'm going to look at when it's coming out.
Which game?
Hold on. Well, it's not a game, but a game showcase that released with Terminator. Because it's an open world Terminator game that's getting a reveal.
What?
February 29th at 7 p.m. CET.
It's multiplayer or single player?
I don't know. Doesn't say. It hasn't been revealed yet.
Oh my god. Could you imagine if it was multiplayer and you got to go through like the war
Because
torn?
it's at the Nacon Connect.
Oh, it's Nacon Connect. Yes, I need to watch that. Last year's was amazing. That's where last year's was where they announced City Skylines 2.
At 1 p.m. So I'm going to be busy when that's happening.
When is it? What's the date?
29th during the streamathon at 1 p.m. my
Perfect.
time.
Look at that. So 1 p.m. what time? What zone? I mean Eastern. Okay, so noon.
Yep.
Okay, so that's perfect. We'll cover that live, guys. Hell yeah, Nacon Connect is great. Definitely. Nacon, that might, yeah. Nacon Connect is good. Good show.
It's a good show.
But yeah, that's it for all the game reveals that and game news and stuff that we wanted to cover and break down. There's a bunch of games I'm very excited for that were shown.
Definitely.
So not gonna go over those. We talked about them. I'm not gonna go back and remember them all right now.
Lots of games that we
Lots of
showed,
games,
so
yeah.
lots to look forward to and lots to not look forward to.
Yeah.
Well, putting it politely.
Anything, Gio, you want to bring up at all?
No, I think we covered it pretty nicely.
I think we did. I'm really excited for this year in gaming because of Microsoft. Look, call me a fanboy, whatever. No, I'll play on anything. The reason I play on Xbox is because the controller is easier on my hands, and I'd rather play on mouse and keyboard. Hell, I'm playing Suicide Squad on mouse and keyboard. Definitely excited for the ecosystem of gaming growing. I think this has been a good start to the year. Been some good events, some good gaming news, and reveals, and PAX East coming up at the end of March as well, says Patrick, so that's cool. We'll expect a few announcements for the second half of 2024, so that'll be, cool to see. We should also be having GDC coming up soon in March as well, Game Developers Conference, so you should get some announcements then as well for stuff. I'm actually, that's a big one. They have awards for that too, so that's a cool thing to cover. 2024 is this year, March 18th to 22nd. So yeah, so so definitely it's an exciting time of the year because we're starting to get all the announcements for 2024, and then it'll be exciting because, you know, as we hit summer and we get Summer Game Fest and all that stuff, and then all the game, and then we get deep into release season when we hit August, and it becomes like crazy release season, which I think this year is going to be nuts. What you eating there, Gio?
That's not me. Is there?
Oh,
Sound?
yeah, that's me fucking with something.
Oh, I thought it was Gio scraping a bowl with a spoon. That's what it sounded like at first.
Nom nom.
Nom,
Hungry.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Bedtime. Nah, it's too early for bedtime, isn't it? But scraping a bowl, so that's what the kids call it these days. Well, actually, scraping a bowl, Patrick, is a marijuana term. So good job. You're scraping a bowl. It means you're cleaning a bowl of its resin, either to clean it or to clean it and to have the resin to smoke. Yeah. But again, next Wednesday and Thursday, Rare Disease Day Streamathon. We're gonna do all kinds of stuff, from reading the Ant-Man book to covering the Nacon event to what else? I can't remember what else. Lots of stuff, and whatever else you want us to do. Give us ideas, but there'll be some serious stuff too. This is a time I always like to bring up serious topics when it comes to these kinds of conditions and mental health. And all that stuff I'll talk about that I'll probably reveal that I haven't revealed, that some people know, but not everybody. And now I will let the whole world know.
Mr. Retro has a fantastic idea. Maybe as a particular like stretch goal for you.
One of us put a dress on. Oh, I like that.
Come on, Chris.
I could put a dress on, sure. I'll put a dress on and I'll sing "My Heart Will Go On."
Put a dress on and then sing Lady Gaga.
No. But I will sing Celine Dion, damn it. Or Whitney Houston. Or Marilyn Monroe. Happy birthday.
We have to get high enough. We have to get
that's
high
like
enough
the 500 goal. That's like if we hit like $500 on day one, and then day two I'll wear the dress. Or if we hit it by day two, then I'll wear it for like another stream, for like the next podcast.
You gotta. No, there should be a goal for where you sing some Lady Gaga. That's what we need.
No. Oh, well,
yes. Come on,
you have
guys.
to sing it too then. Remember, these aren't just my goals now, because this is all four of us we all have to have goals for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Patrick. Holy shnikes. Yikes. Scooby-Doo. And on that note, folks, we're going to call it a night. Thank you for hanging out for Rambling Red Shirts, episode number, unlucky or lucky, number 13. Or maybe we should have called it number 14, like they do with apartment buildings. They don't have a floor 13.
You can't skip my number, damn it.
Oh, that's right. Your birthday's on the 13th. Was it last year or this year? It's Friday the 13th. I can't remember. Was it last year?
That's a pretty good question.
I don't remember.
No, it was last year.
It was last year. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, thanks for hanging out, Patrick. God damn it. Next time, don't blame. You blamed your girlfriend for missing the podcast. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. You blamed your girlfriend. You blamed the girlfriend. Instead of setting an alarm yourself, you blamed the girlfriend. Shame, shame, shame. Shame. Matthew Kerboon said, I learned from a Canadian Mountie. Thank you kindly. Whose girlfriend? Patrick. It's a known fact. I sleep through all of my alarms. It's a known fact. I hear excuses. Anyway, Spencer, why don't you plug your den?
Well, go check out the Dingus Den with all the comic stuff. Where, not gonna lie, it is on a bit of a hiatus right now, as I'm super busy, so I haven't had time to really
prioritize.
Exactly. But when I get around to having more free time to edit something, you can go find some comic stuff over there. I know last main video was over Ultimate Spider-Man, and I'm working on bringing back the Community Comic Club, so which is like an audio format of the show. So that'll be going out there when I find a new probably time slot for it, maybe date as well. So working on gonna bring that back at least. But yeah, you can find that on the Dingus Den. What is going on though that I've been keeping up with that I did bring up earlier that I'm going to bring up again is the Red 5 book club where we're currently talking about The Last Command. However, there's also a poll going on for the next book that we're reading in April, which is in between The Martian or Princess Bride. You know what? I'm going to post a link to that in the chat here really quick.
And maybe
go to the poll.
Patrick failed. He didn't post your Dingus Den link in the chat while you were talking about it. I was waiting for it. It never happened.
Well, what do you expect? He's
half asleep. I know he's zombied.
Half asleep.
Zombied. Where's the link,
so,
Patrick?
Anyway,
I don't see a link.
yeah,
I see.
Patrick,
Go check out the Dingus Den and subscribe. How are they gonna get there?
Lazy punk.
How are they gonna get there?
You lazy punk. All right. Anyway,
put out some more shorts, y'all. Even if they're gameplay clips, it really boosts your audience. Hey, Griffin, are you gonna be our producer that clips our gaming for us and makes those game clips? Huh.
All right. Anyway, just as I said, the main thing I want to plug though is this Red 5 reading link right here. You can check out their
the poll
link right there to their Twix to the poll. Where currently The Martian is winning by a lot, so it looks like we're going to be reading The Martian in April. And if you want to join us in April, where we're going to
vote for the Princess Bride. Damn it!
Hey!
Go for the underdog.
I was about to say, go if you can get enough points, maybe we can get a upset right there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens though. But anyway, would love to see more people involved in that. Is that something that Nicole over from Abuse and Abuse is trying to grow? So awesome stuff over there. Been going really well with the Heir to the Empire trilogy. So that's what I got.
Gio, anything to say to the folks?
Appreciate everybody stopping by. Peace and love, and hope everybody has a blessed rest of their evening.
Alrighty then. Well, folks, we're gonna go ahead and sign off and say adios and arrivederci and ciao and masalama and adios. I already said that one, didn't I? All right. So goodbye, everybody. We'll see you later. Remember to check us out over on twitch.tv/redshirtsremastered for all our gaming streams. And next Wednesday, we'll be back for Rare Disease Day Streamaganza, 28th and 29th, 2024 of February.
Check it out.
Bye, everybody.